1-2 pitch, swing, and the 1-2. Swung on and missed.
Pitching to him, maybe more aggressive and trying to do things. Oh, boy.
Right off the bat, let me try that again. Right off the bat, guys, we are going to start with this Corey Kluber signing to the Yankees. Then we'll dive into everything that's going on. It's been a crazy day, but for anybody that might be checking out this video after the fact, after we're live, and just want the Corey Kluber piece, we're going to do that real quick here. Corey Kluber to the Yankees certainly gives them a great rotation. Now it starts to put the rotation together, a great chance to stay effective as long as Corey Kluber is just that, is effective, and that is going to be the question. But they needed to do it because look at this rotation. If you take Kluber out of this rotation, there's a lot of worry. And if you're a Yankee fan, you got to feel that. If you're a Jays fan, a Red Sox fan, you got to love that. A Rays fan, you loved it. Now, what happens with this Kluber deal? We'll see. Is it a big deal? We'll see. But ultimately, here's his situation heading into the 2021 season. It will be his age 35 season. And those years from 14, 16, 17, 18 were just ridiculous. And that's probably not who he's going to be. But if the Yankees get a guy who can be the number 3 or 4 in the rotation, once Severino's back later in the year, you go Cole, Severino, then maybe Garcia's pitching lights out, and then you have Kluber. It's a great situation. That's a great situation for the Yankees. 1-year deal, $11 million. I don't think it's too bad. Here's his projection. Here's his projection for 2021. What do you guys think? 9 wins, 94 Ks over 102 innings. So the baseball forecaster guys over there at Baseball HQ didn't have him pitching a full season, right? So what they're projecting is 94 Ks over 102 innings, a 3.69 ERA, and a 1.11 WHIP. If that's what actually happens, I mean, that ERA, that WHIP, that's fine. And if he gets more innings logged to something of that degree, something of that effect, Yankee fans, you got to be happy with this. This is ultimately a great day for Yankee fans. Corey Kluber was on the radar for a lot of teams, and the Yankees go out and get him. I think, again, ultimately it is a smart move. It's a move that, what was it, yesterday? Just yesterday, we're looking at what are the Yankees doing? They're losing the offseason. They're getting crushed in the offseason. Nothing good's happening. Then all of a sudden, the Kluber deal happens, the LeMahieu deal happens, and Yankee fans, you got to be feeling pretty good. So that is our Corey Kluber piece. Again, anybody that might be clicking in after we finish this live piece, that's Corey Kluber piece. Let's get into the live part of this. Thank you, everybody that is here. This was a crazy baseball day. We had the DJ LeMahieu signing. That news broke when everybody was waking up. Then the Yankees sort of cap off the night with the Corey Kluber signing. They sort of bookend this busy day, not just the Kluber and the DJ, but everything in between. And we're going to spend some time talking about what's next. We did the poll, what you guys want to talk about, and what's next sort of ran away with what you want to talk about. So we will be spending a good amount of time on that, but we're also going to talk about all of the deals. I feel like there were 200 deals signed today in Major League Baseball. And, this is one of the few days when that happens. You have a mesh, a combination, a perfect storm of sorts with the international signing period opening up. So a lot of deals got signed there, a lot of prospects, a lot of teams just sort of revamped their system with the prospects. The Dodgers, one of them. Dodgers get 2 of the top 10 international players, and we'll dive into it again a little bit deeper in a little bit. But these guys are all graded at 55 out of 80. That's those guys are going to be in your top 10. So the Dodgers make some moves. Yes, Orioles 2041. Go watch. We're gonna cover the names. We're gonna cover the top 10. I encourage you guys to go hop on stay on the YouTube, I guess, and check it out. There's some really talented kids, and I say kids because most of them are 16 and 17. There's a few 20-year-olds, so they're those 16-year-olds, they're a ways away, right? They're 5 years away. But Yolakai Cespedes, who went to the White Sox, who officially went to the White Sox, might be 2 years away. He's 22 and been playing a lot for Cuba. He's not that far away. Jays did well in the international market. They certainly did. I like who they got with, I think it's Emmanuel Beltre, a nice piece there, considered to have one of the more advanced bats for his age. He's a young kid too. So we had deals. It was let's make a deal today, because on top of the international, you had arbitration deadline. And that's significant because if you sign, great, move on. You don't have to go through go to the arbiter and go through that arbitration process, because that's ugly, right? You get into a situation now where players and teams are squabbling over $50,000, and the teams are saying, here's why you're not worth that. That's what happens in the arbitration process. The teams are telling the players, you're not worth that because. And some of these, it's close. We're going to dive into what the separation was. Mark Feinsand really came through strong for us a couple hours ago when he put out everybody that didn't sign and what the difference was. And we're going to dive into that. So it was just a busy day, and that's why we're here doing a Friday night edition of the Nightcap. Usually this is a Tuesday thing, but being such a busy day, so much happening, I wanted to come on and talk about it. And again, we just talked about Kluber, but to close the book on that Corey Kluber situation, if my Jays had signed him, I would have been thrilled. Even 1 year for $11 million. I would have been thrilled because I feel like we need the depth. I love the idea of not getting into bed long term, not having a long marriage with somebody like this. 1 year, $11 million, he's going to prove himself and try to sign probably a 2 or 3 year deal after that. Again, he's going to be entering his age 35 season, so he's going to pitch his rear off because he wants to probably get a couple years out of this. Shahir, welcome in, my man. Elliot, welcome in. How is everybody doing tonight? Welcome in on a Friday. I hope you guys have a nice long weekend lined up with Monday off if you're getting MLK Day off. So, so this Kluber thing, if he had come to Toronto, I would have been thrilled. I would have told you that, the Blue Jays rotation really doesn't need much else. If you added Kluber, I would have liked maybe another move similar to Kluber, like a Paxton, or you wouldn't have to make a big splash. Now, if they did, great. If they wanted to go and make a big splash somehow with a trade for the Reds, maybe that'd be great. But that's the thing, right? Kyle, I know there are some fans that are out there that are getting frustrated with this because Hendricks was at the complex. They made a more than fair offer to LeMahieu. They actually made an offer to LeMahieu that was a higher average year value, right? The AAV was better from the Jays. They missed out on that. The Lindor, there's no trade for Lindor, so you just see these pieces that are falling. It's not over yet. But boy, I tell you, if Springer signs with the Mets, the all-out full court press needs to be put right now on George Springer. And I gotta think that this LeMahieu deal will have some impact. We'll kind of transition to LeMahieu now. This LeMahieu piece should have some kind of impact on what George Springer signs for ultimately. I mean, maybe not, but I just feel like if LeMahieu goes 6 for 90, how can Springer be asking for $30 million a year? He can't. He's not going to get Rendon money. He can't get Rendon money. The market, LeMahieu, in a sense, kind of, I don't want to say he sets the market, but he sort of starts to mold it into shape. So this ultimately, I think, is a good thing because as the negotiation progresses out with somebody like Springer, Blue Jays can say, well, look, man, I mean, you're similar age to this guy. Why are we going to give you double? Why are we going to give you double? So I feel like the DJ LeMahieu situation, Yankee fans, we talked about it earlier. You should be excited. I know you're excited. This is really the guy you wanted, right? This was number one on the list. Didn't care about anyone else except DJ LeMahieu. And with all the drama that played out, you got it done. And you got to feel good about that. I know that the Blue Jay fans are a little bummed out about it. Mets fans, not too happy. Dodgers fans can move on. Dodgers fans, this is one of those things where if you're a Dodgers fan, you just kind of move on. You're like, whatever. We're good. We have so much talent that our team is just oozing. We're fine. We'll be fine. And they will. But Toronto, they're trying to get over the hump. So, but, they didn't make it. Didn't work out for them. It is what it is. I like LeMahieu. We've talked about what LeMahieu brings to the table in terms of just being a professional hitter, leaving Coors Field and improving when he went to Yankee Stadium. So a lot of good signs there that what LeMahieu has done and his metrics also point towards keeping up with what he's been doing. So you got to think that DJ LeMahieu is just going to keep doing his thing. Really no concern of any drop off. Maybe there's, the back end of that deal, right? It's a deal that's going to take him to age 38, his age 38 season. In my opinion, DJ LeMahieu should continue at his current pace for a couple of more years. And then even if he starts to fall off towards the second half of that deal, he's still going to be productive. And if he can't play the field anymore, you just slide him to DH. So I think that there's good things there for the DJ LeMahieu fans and the Yankee fans out there for finally getting that deal done, putting that to bed, and being able to move on. So really what this kind of leads us to in the conversation is what's next? What's the next move? What free agent gets the most pressure applied at this point? And I think it's clear. It's this guy. It's George Springer. Mets, Blue Jays. I got to think both of those teams were on the phone with his representatives today. This is now what everyone's going to be watching for. If you're in the chat, if you're hanging out, where do you think he's going to go? Mets or Blue Jays? Jays fans that are here, and I know we have a good Jays fan contingency here. I'm right there with you. At this point, I want to see this deal happen, but I know the Mets are aggressive. And if you're George Springer and you could pick between the two, which way would you go? Which way would you lean? So, there's a lot of factors in play here. I got to think both teams at this point will probably match dollars. Just, again, Jays can't miss out on this. And the Mets, now that he's a prized possession, because after Springer, if you want to get an impact lineup changing bat, you have to make a trade. You're going to have to make a trade with the Rockies for Arenado or Story. You're going to have to make a trade with the Cubs for Bryant and hope that he is not, in fact, on the downside, that he can turn it around with a different team and a different lineup. There is still Ozuna out there. Johnny, good point. There is still Ozuna. So, Ozuna's probably going to need to spend more time at DH. So the Mets probably aren't going to be as hot on Ozuna as Toronto might be. So that's another move that could come from this is the Blue Jays, if they feel like they're falling behind in the Springer sweepstakes, that they need to start thinking about what's next. Marcell Ozuna. Nathan, welcome in, my man. Austin is on the Derek Fisher train. I was holding out hope for Derek Fisher. I think I've hopped off that train. When they made the trade for Fisher, I was cool with it. Even his first full year, I was like, he needs time. I don't know. I might be hopping off that Derek Fisher train. Nathan, he came from your team. What are your thoughts on Derek Fisher? Is Fisher gone officially? And they can always bring him back. I'm sure he'd be cheap if they did bring him back. But yeah, that whole Derek Fisher thing just didn't work out. Jason, 125 or walk for Jays for Springer if they went 500 for DJ. If Springer signs elsewhere, could go with Ozuna and Turner. The thing with Turner, though, Jason, thank you for that comment. Here's the thing about Turner. Word is out today that it's close, that he might be heading back to the Dodgers. So there may not be an opportunity. And the Dodgers, Turner wanted 4 years, which I can't think anybody's going to give him. But we've talked about it before. I think that was a negotiation tactic. And I have a feeling that what Turner does realistically is probably take a 2-year deal. Maybe an option for year 3, a mutual option for year 3, something like that. He wasn't going to get 4 years. That's like Bauer asking for $35 million. Bauer's asking for $35 million because he'd like to get 30, but you can't start at 30 because then you don't get 30. So that's the whole thing there. That's my belief on some of these numbers. They're all negotiation tactics. Turner saying he wants 4 years. I don't think so. I think he wants 2 guaranteed, and that's just where you got to start. If you want to get 4 years or 2 years, you got to start. You got to ask for 4. So Justin Turner, the word's out that they're getting close. I actually thought that the news would break today that Turner, I thought there was a more likelihood that Turner would sign with the Dodgers. At least there would be an announcement before, there was a Corey Kluber announcement, because Kluber just had his pitching session 2 days ago. So there's that. That was my feeling. Big Blue 56. I think the Jays could trade for Arenado for not much if you take on his contract, because Colorado is desperate to get out of that deal. Well, if they could get Arenado for not much, and I'm talking like none of the top 10 prospects, none of the active players, I would. That's an interesting situation. I don't know. I worry about Arenado, and I think the Jays fans, after the Tulo situation, I think that's going to prevent that front office from doing that deal. That Tulo situation just went south. Now, different reasons, different circumstances, but we'll see. Yeah, I mean the market is definitely wild. Today we had. I haven't counted, but I'm sure it's probably about 200 deals today, between all of the arbitration 1-year deals and the international deals. And then we had DJ signed, we had Kluber signed, Kurt Suzuki also signed with the Angels. I don't have any artwork for that. That's not in the lineup, but the Kurt Suzuki deal, that's interesting because look at the catcher market. I kind of thought that the Angels they had the need at catcher. They wouldn't spend a lot of money to address it, and they didn't, but they got a good bat. Angels got a good bat there. So we had a little Kurt Suzuki move today too. Another piece. So we're talking about what's next. We're talking about Springer. Is it Mets or Blue Jays? We're talking about Justin Turner. Let's talk about this guy. We got to get to this guy, Trevor Bauer. You guys in the chat, everybody in the chat, it's time for you guys to be heard. Where does he sign? 1 for Mets, 2 for Jays, 3 Dodgers, 4 Angels, 5. I have Dodgers in there twice. 5 is Padres. All right. 1 Mets, 2 Jays, 3 Dodgers, 4 Angels, 5 Padres. If you think you have the inside scoop on where Trevor Bauer is going to sign, because that's a big one now. Now Bauer is the second biggest free agent out there. Where's he going to sign? We got a lot of 4s. We got a lot of Angels. We got some Jays. Elliott's rooting for the Mets. Kyle Bauer's going to the Jays. Mutual interest. Jays are best fit. It is going to be interesting. What does Bauer think? We had that video. We had Tom on here on Tuesday talking about the video. Talking about joining a team. Here, this is key. He wants to join a team that is going to be aggressive and be able to make moves to make the team better. What have the Blue Jays done so far that accomplishes that this offseason? Because they weren't able to get LeMahieu, even though they had the better annual salary. They didn't get a Lindor deal done. I'm worried. If you are thinking that Bauer's a Blue Jay going to the Jays, I don't know. Jays will give him everything. That's true. That is true. Certainly, I think that he could get his every 4 days from Toronto. But wanting to win, wanting to be on a team that could be aggressive and go get deals done, I think Bauer probably falls after Springer because Bauer probably wants to see who gets Springer. Because if Springer goes to the Mets, Trevor Bauer might take less money to go to the Mets. If the Dodgers do something that improves the third base situation, he may say, you know what, I'll take less money and go there. We know the Angels aren't going to do anything else. The Angels aren't going to do anything more with that lineup. The pitching situation, there's not a big enough splash, in my opinion, to make you think that okay, this is a big move, and now this is the reason why I need to go there. If you're thinking in Trevor Bauer's mind there, so Bauer's probably waiting to see what's next, just like all of us are. What is next with all of these moves and who could go where? Will Bauer join the Jays? Will he go to the Mets? What do you guys think? I don't know. I think he's going to wait for Springer to sign, and then he'll make his decision. And then if he goes to the Jays, and Blue Jays fans that are in here, I feel like you're either in his camp or out of his camp. I don't know if there's any in between. He's a very, very polarizing individual. This Trevor Bauer situation and where he could go. One other name that's sort of impacted by some of the moves lately. Again, we're talking about what's next right now for anybody that's just hopping in. Brad Hand. It looked. Ken Rosenthal was out this morning saying that it looked like Brad Hand to the Mets was close. But then that was retracted pretty quickly. Everybody in the chat, it's your turn again. Where does he sign? Where is Brad Hand going to sign? These are the teams that he's been linked to recently. Astros, Mets, Dodgers, Blue Jays. 1 for the Mets, 2 for the Jays, 3 for the Dodgers, 4 for the Astros. Where does Brad Hand sign? Where do you think he goes? A lot of people still think the Mets. We were talking Mets. I was on Wardy NYM earlier this week on Tyler's channel talking about Brad Hand, looking at the Mets as, you know what? He's got closing experience, so he can step in there if anything gets dicey with Diaz. And if not, it's the lefty. It's a lefty that they need. They have a lot of righties. They need a lefty. You know who else needs a lefty? The Dodgers. So where does he want to go? Where does he want to go? Does he want to join the Mets and maybe not be the closer? Does he want to join the Dodgers? Again, similar situation to the Mets. Dodgers need a lefty. Hand might not be the closer. But in Toronto, Brad Hand would be the closer. I don't know. I don't feel like it would be the Jays. We got some 1s. We got some 2s. I do think the Mets have to be in the driver's seat here. I don't see – if I were to rank these in order of what could happen, I'd go Mets, then Dodgers, then Astros, then Blue Jays. Again, these are the 4 teams that he has been linked to. This is not just me throwing up random teams. These are the teams that he's been linked to as recently as today. So we'll kind of see. Jason, Dodgers are going to sign JT and Hand. I think the Turner thing's going to happen. I really do. I think Turner going back to LA is going to happen. Now that LeMahieu's off the table, I don't think they want to trade for Arenado. I don't think they want to trade for Bryant. Their system is just so stacked. I think they probably sign Turner, bring him back for a couple of years, and just run it back with the team that got him there last year. And they'll still be the favorite. The Dodgers will still be the favorite in the National League, even with all the moves the Padres have made. The Padres are right there. The Padres have to do it first, right? You can't put the Padres in front of the Dodgers when the Dodgers just won the World Series. The Padres could sign Trevor Bauer. The Dodgers would still be at the top of the mountain until the Padres came and take the flag. So, that's my feelings on that. Let's see here. When doubting Yankees get a lot of wins. Let's see. Zarnia, man, I hate paying for closers. My feeling on paying for closers is if that's your last piece, like with the White Sox and Hendricks, if that's the last piece that you need, if you are close and you feel like you got your lineup set and your rotation set, you need to make sure that bullpen is locked down. If you feel like you're close and you got to pay 10 to 15 million a year for a closer, and that's it, you should be able to just that's your team, that's who you want to roll with. I would say pay for him. Pay for the closer if that's the deal. JT to the Angels. Let's talk about, because that's another piece. Again, we are focusing on what's next here right now. And one of the other pieces that could be next is this man. And he's got a pile of cash. The Phillies have dropped off a truck in JT Realmuto's driveway full of cash. $100 million over 5 years on the table for JT Realmuto. What should he do, folks? Does he shop it? Does he say, yeah, I'll think about it and I'll get back to you and we'll see what comes in between now and then? Or does he run as fast as he can, push everybody out of the way, and go sign that deal? Right, Kyle, exactly. The deal should already be done. That should be it. He should have signed. What is JT Realmuto waiting for? Because the Phillies could pull it off the table. The Phillies could say, you know what, we called Molina and we're going to sign him for 2 years at $30 million. We're good. Sorry. Go sign that deal. JT Realmuto, sign that deal. What are you doing? You're a catcher getting a 5-year deal for $100 million. Go do the deal. You got to take this deal. JT Realmuto has to make it happen, because what this also would do, well, let's do two things. It'll fire up the fan base, because just recently it looked like you were out on Realmuto, and now all of a sudden you're in, and you put your best foot forward, because this is a real deal here. This is serious. So you got the fan base feeling good about what you're doing in the front office, and you're making your superstar right fielder happy, right? Bryce Harper wants Realmuto back with this club. If they had let Realmuto go, that's just something that Bryce Harper is going to remember. Be like, man, they weren't able to get Trouty. They weren't. I mean, they weren't able to convince Trout to wait. They didn't bring JT back. Maybe the Phillies. Maybe I don't want to be here long term. Maybe we'll ride out a couple more years, see how this goes, and then I'm going to request a trade. Phillies have to do this. The Phillies must do it. So that's, again, we are talking about everybody that's in here new. We are talking about what's next with all of these moves that have happened. We're talking about, Justin Turner maybe going back to the Dodgers. That seems close. Which way is Springer going to go? What's Hand going to do? Realmuto. There's a lot of pieces here now that, a couple of pieces are off the board. DJ's off the board. Lindor's off the board. You've got Kluber. Now, he wasn't high up on the board, but when it came to pitching availability, what was out there, if you take away the top names, like Bauer, Kluber kind of creeps up high on that list pretty quick, and he's off the board. So, what is going to happen next is kind of what we're looking at. What the other piece that I felt was in play would be, a Didi Gregorius to the Yankees if the DJ thing didn't happen. And now that's out, right? Because you've got the middle infield is set. What happens with Didi Gregorius now? You've got the Orioles need a shortstop. Does he go to the A's? Do the A's make sense? The market for Gregorius might have just shrunk. If I was Didi Gregorius, I would have been out there trying to get a deal done before DJ LeMahieu, because you could go out there and say, I'm talking to the Yankees. This is good negotiation tactics. You could say, yeah, I got a $20 million a year deal with the Yankees. What are you going to offer me? And try to get a deal up with some of these other teams. But now a big bargaining chip that Gregorius might have had is gone and out now. And, unfortunately for Didi, that's we'll see where he lands at this point. I worry that Didi could be one of those guys that's still a free agent when teams are reporting to camp Anybody have a feeling on Didi? Where do you think maybe happens with Didi Gregorius? A lot of people talking about Bauer. Angels getting Bauer. We were talking about that a few minutes ago. We'll put that back up. What you guys think about Trevor Bauer? Because it's Bauer and Springer and Realmuto now are the three big names. And Realmuto's, again, we were talking about it. He's got a Brinks truck parked in his driveway. You've got Brad Hand. Probably it's either him or Colomé as the best closer options available, him and Rosenthal. So one of the closers could be coming off the board here soon. You've got Springer situation. You got the Bauer situation. I love that the market is picking up, though. I'm hoping that this is just, the LeMahieu signing really spurs a lot of action, and I think it really could. Let me get to the chat because I've seen some questions coming in. Here early on anyway. I am trying to keep to the lineup, but you guys now, if you've had some questions and I didn't get to it, fire off the questions because you guys are an important part of this too. So ask your questions, and I will get to some of the questions. I know that again I've missed a few. DD to the Angels, sports with AJ. I just don't know if the Angels are going to spend any more money with that offense, and that's my worry. Jason, thinking about Bauer cheating. Well, what's your definition of cheating? That's the situation with Trevor Bauer. The report came out, and Bauer's name wasn't even on it, about pitchers using foreign substances on their on their throwing hands. Bauer's name wasn't even on it, and nobody seemed to really care. That had like a 12-hour news cycle, and it was gone. So that's the question. Will the Yanks go for Castillo? That's a great question. I think that they need to add, right, one or two arms into that bullpen, and Castillo would be a great one to go for. I think they're going to go for it. Will they get him? I'm not sure. Let's see here. Let me see. Rod's thinking the Jays are going to sign Tanaka. We'll see. I don't know. What the Jays are going to do. It just feels so perplexing at this point. There's too many names. There's too many players in the mix. There's just too much. It's hard to figure it out with the Jays. They're just perplexing right now. Let's see here. Let's see here. Do the Jays get anyone? BZ Baseball, can I get a shout out? Yes, my man. Just started uploading on my YouTube channel. Make sure you check him out. Anybody that's in here, if you haven't subscribed yet, just a quick plug. Please subscribe if you're enjoying the baseball talk. We're building a baseball community here, and would love for anybody that's checking this out for the first time to join and be a part of it. So please subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're creating content, comment in the chat. Anybody that's trying to grow, I'm happy to give you a plug. We have about 120 eyeballs in here right now. So if you're creating some content, let me know. We'll give you a shout out, and maybe you could find some new, some new followers, some new viewers. Are you mad for Toronto not making any moves? Not yet. Ask me again in a month. There's a process to this. You have to be patient. There's still names out there. Even if they lose out on Springer, there's still trade possibilities. So I'm not mad. I think that there's still time. So I wouldn't be worried. Who's better as of today, the Yankees or the Mets? That's a great question. I tell you what, that Subway Series is going to be fascinating. Who's better, Yankees or Mets? Yankees or Mets? This is a close one. This is a tough one. I'm going to say the Yankees if healthy. And there's the big part of that. If healthy, which has been the Yankees' bugaboo. I hate to use that term, but that's been their thing the last few years, is they haven't been able to be healthy. But if everybody's healthy with the Yankees are better. I mean, that lineup's unreal. That rotation is solid. So if everybody's healthy, it's the Yankees. But the problem is they're not always healthy. So I think that if the injury bug hits the Yankees again, it's the Mets, right? As soon as Judge goes down with an oblique and Stanton goes down with a hangnail, and he's out, he misses a couple weeks, you got to watch out for these guys. They get hurt and they go down. If somebody blows, if somebody spits in the wind and a little fleck of spittle gets in Springer's eye and he's out for a month, what are you going to do?
Oh, how could you say that?
I just think that there's just too many issues with the Yankees there. But if they can stay healthy, it's going to be crazy. Let's see. Odd villain, you got Springer and Hand to the Mets. That could happen. I mean, we know the Mets are pushing. We know the Mets were pushing. So you guys like that? I've been going around because listen, I want to make this whole live thing, fun for you guys too. And I've been going around looking for some inserts. So that's one of the new inserts for anybody that's checking it out. I've got a couple, and we'll see if I can use them, if they're relevant at all while we're going through this. Let's see. Brad Hand has gone to the Mets. The word was that he was going to the Mets, but it didn't happen. That backtracked big time. That backtracked quickly. So that didn't go down. I think there were a lot of people that rushed to their computer to create some content with, Brad Hand going to the Mets, and then it just didn't happen. But it's not final. No, it's not final. So Brad Hand's still out there. So let's do this. One of the other pieces I want to talk about, and we will get back to what's next, because I think that's a fun conversation, and we're gonna get back to that a lot. But one of the elements I wanted to talk about today was arbitration day. We had some big deals. Get your reading glasses on, guys. I'll read out the big ones. Lindor, $22 million. Chris Bryant, $19.5 million. Bellinger, $16 million. Trey Turner, $13 million. Conforto, $12 million. Some interesting names that are on the, in the trade, caught up in the trade wins. You got Baez here, got a deal for $11.65. Bryant got the deal for $19.5. Matt Chapman got the deal $6.49. Hader got $6.6. So you've got a lot of deals done here. And what that does is it makes a deal for Bryant or Baez, who else was on here, or Chapman or Hader, a little bit easier to execute, because the team that's acquiring them knows how much they're going to have to pay him, and they don't have to go through the arbitration process with him. The worst thing that in the world that can happen is you trade for Francisco Lindor if you're the Mets, and then you get into a argument with him over how much you want to pay him. And next thing you know, Francisco Lindor's ticked off because you go into the arbitration hearing and you're telling Francisco Lindor he's not as good as he thinks he is. So these settlements are big for Lindor, for Bryant, for Baez, and for Hader, and for Chapman, because now if the Jays want to trade for Chapman to be the third baseman, that salary's locked in. They don't have to worry about negotiating with him. And again, same thing with Bryant. Now, we kind of had a feeling that Bryant was going to get paid at 19.5. Does the team want to take that? That's a great question, and we'll have to see if a Bryant deal happens now that 19.5 is attached to him. So a big piece there. Now, the other big piece to arbitration day are the deals that don't get done. So there were 13 players that did not settle today. Jack Flaherty, Carlos Correa, Walker Buehler, Ian Happ, Shohei Ohtani, Dansby Swanson, Ryan Yarbrough, Mike Soroka, Donovan Solano, Austin Barnes, G-Man Choi, J.D. Davis, and Anthony Santander, who's just got the most ridiculous name in baseball. You really got to have some flair when you say Santander. Sorry, I couldn't resist. All of this courtesy Mark Feinsand. Again, he really came through and put it all out there. So, but look at how close some of these numbers are, and these guys weren't able to do deals. What's the close? I mean, Austin Barnes, $500,000 apart. J.D. Davis, a couple $100,000. Anthony Santander with flair, just a couple $100,000. So Carlos Correa, they're about $1.5 million apart. So these deals didn't happen. They're going to go to an arbiter. And again, the Astros are going to be telling Carlos Correa, you're not as good as you think you are. And this is why you should get 11.125. Now, it's not going to be up to the Astros. There's going to be a third-party arbiter in there that's going to make the decision for them. But this is Carlos Correa's final year. Most of these other guys, it's year 1 or 2 or 3. I believe it's year 1 for Mike Soroka. It is year 1 for Shohei Ohtani. So these are guys that you're going to be, you're going to be planting an impression with these guys moving forward. So if you end up ticking off Walker Buehler here, they're not that far apart. 4.15 versus 3.725 is not that far apart for the future of your rotation. If you're the Dodgers, keep that man happy is what I say. The Ohtani situation is fascinating because he's got the pitching and the hitting and how are you grading them and doing all this other stuff. So the Ohtani situation, that's a tricky one to figure out. But, if I'm the Dodgers, I would have done that Walker Buehler deal without even blinking an eye. Just get that deal done. Keep him happy because you're going to have to enter a multi-year negotiation with him at some point, and you don't want him in the back of his mind remembering that time in 2021 when you guys went to an arbitration hearing in February and told him how much he sucks. So these are all the players that did not settle today. Only 13 of them. There were about 100 deals that did get done, 13 that didn't. And again, some big names. Again, same with the Cardinals. Just like Buehler with the Dodgers, Flaherty with the Cardinals. He's the future of your rotation, and you're $500,000 apart when you're talking about $3 million. Like, just do the deal. Just do the deal. Anyway, those are the arbitration deals. That's the arbitration situation heading into now we go a few weeks and we'll have the arbitration in February. Usually it's about the middle of February. Let's talk about the rest of today's big deals. Who wants to make a deal day was all of the international prospects that signed. There were a ton of them. We're not going to go through all of them, but we are going to touch on the big ones. And the first big name we're going to talk about is Yoelqui Cespedes. You got it. Yoenis Cespedes. They're related. Coming from Cuba. Cespedes is 23 years old. Look at those tools out of 80. So he's probably going to debut with the White Sox, certainly in the top 10. Might be a top 5 prospect when he debuts with the White Sox. Top 5 in the White Sox organization. Didn't really have to – the White Sox did not have to break the bank. $2 million for Cespedes. And we've got a couple more names here we're going to get to, and you'll see there's teams that went much higher later on down the list here. So Cespedes goes for $2 million. Some great tools there. Again, being 23 years old probably means he's only, 2 years away. They're going to get him right into the system, and I could see him making a debut in the 2023 season. He's a plus runner, a solid defender, a line drive hitter. Can hit the ball all over the field, which is great, especially in a time of shifts. To have somebody who can hit it all over the field. Yoelqui Cespedes to the White Sox. The rich get richer. Next up is Oscar Colas. He did not sign today. He's the number 2 international prospect. Look at those grades again, out of 80. Colas deciding not to sign. He's a left-handed pitcher and an outfielder. Now he's 22, but again, he didn't sign. Word was he was going to hold a showcase at some point in January. Now, not everybody had to sign today. So he opted not to sign. So he'll be the big name out there as we continue on here. but he did not sign. He probably breaks in as a hitter. He's got a fastball in the mid 90s. He's considered the Cuban Ohtani. Now, whether that's a good or bad thing right now, I guess that's to be determined. But there's nothing for Colas right now. We'll see where his market ends up landing. Now we're gonna get into the first of the two Dodgers kids to sign, and I say kid. We got 17-year-old Wilman Diaz. He's a shortstop. Pretty decent tools here. Probably going to be overall a 55 out of 80. And he's 17. I got to think he debuts in the top 10 for the Dodgers. He's a 5-tool guy. He can hit with that 60 out of 80. You love to see that. Plus arm, good things here. Good things. The Dodgers bring him in there, and it's a great piece for the future for the Dodgers to bring in Wilman Diaz. Again, this guy's going to be most certainly a top 10, and maybe he creeps close to the top 5. Great move there. Again, the first of 2 Dodgers signings in the top 10. Only team that was able to pull off 2 deals in the top 10. Let's get to the next guy. Carlos Colmenares going to the Rays. $3 million. Remember what Cespedes signed for? $2 million. So here's Colmenares going for $3 million. 17 years old. Look at those tools at 17. You got to think this is a kid. He's going to be again. All these guys that we're talking about are going to debut in the top 10 with their new teams. But he favors. A lot of people comp him to Asdrubal Cabrera. Remember how great Cabrera was early on? This guy's a lefty. Asdrubal's a switch hitter. But Carlos Colmenares is a nice grab for the Rays there for $3 million. Nats fans. I know we've had some Nats fans hanging out here. We have a national coming up next. And that is Armando Cruz, shortstop. Look how much he signed for, 3.9. Again, remember how much Cespedes signed for, 2. So Armando Cruz signs for 3.9 with the Nats. Some nice tools. Not a big power guy, but you like to see that 60 out of 80, especially for a shortstop. He's the best. He's considered by some the best defender at any position in this year's class. So at the age of 16, shortstop, considered the best defender. You got to feel good about that. He's going to go to the Nats. They compare him to, I don't know if you love this comp. He's a major leaguer's decent, a young Jose Iglesias. So, and Iglesias is a great defender. So that's a nice piece. You got Trey Turner there in Washington. You hope for like the next 10 years. Maybe Trey Turner eventually moves to second and Cruz can be your shortstop. But then you got Garcia. Listen, they figure this stuff out. Cruz could be a trade piece in a couple years. But you got Armando Cruz going to the Nats. Next up, we've got Christian Hernandez to the Cubs. $3 million, age 17. Look at the tools. Look at the grades. It's just a great get. You got the 6th best prospect, and you got 55s. The hitting is a 50, but everything else is 55. So his overall will certainly be a 55 out of 80, which is enough to be top 10. He's big, 6'2", 175. He resembles, this is just not fair, resembles a young Alex Rodriguez and has a build similar to Manny Machado and styles his game after Javier Baez. Okay, good luck living up to that. But listen, hey, shoot for the moon, and if you don't make it, at least you're in orbit, as the saying goes. So we'll see what happens with Christian Hernandez. But a nice get for the Cubs, $3 million. Cubs get a nice one. Astros made a nice move with Pedro Leon, 22 years old. I believe signed the biggest contract at $4 million. I don't think anyone signed bigger, but Pedro Leon went for $4 million, 55s across the board. Pedro Leon is a nice grab out of Havana, Cuba. Again, being 22 years old, he's not like these 16-year-olds. You got to think Leon has a great chance to move up relatively quickly within the system. A right-handed bat, and again, he's got some power. He can field. He's a nice piece there for the Astros to bring in. Let's get to the next piece. We're going to get to the second Dodger taken in the top 10. It's a catcher. Jesus Galiz goes to the Dodgers. Galiz, the first catcher we've seen here, young, 17, so it's going to be some time till you see him. He's a big fan of Gleyber Torres. Played middle infield for most of his upbringing, but they switched him to catcher a couple years ago. Quick feet, strong arm. They say he's got a high baseball IQ. We'll see how that projects out, but the Dodgers get 2 in the top 10. A nice one there. We got a couple names left. The next one, it's the Phillies getting involved. Ricardo Perez, good hitter there, 55 out of 80, 17 years old. So again, he's going to be a few years away, coming out of Venezuela, a left-handed bat. So he profiles very similar to the guy we just talked about, Jesus Galiz. Offensively and defensively, they're both quick, good behind the plate, good footwork, quick release. That's the word on him. So, again, going to the Phillies, it's a nice grab there, and they didn't have to break the bank. Just $1.2 million. It's a good move. Last in the top 10, and then we have one more after this. It is going to be Yidi Cappy signing with the Marlins, 18 years old, but some nice tools here. 55 out of 80 with the hitting and the power. He's got a nice arm, and you like that at shortstop. Tall, lean, 6'3", 175. Now, at 6'3", do you stay at shortstop for a long time, or does he outgrow the position? He's 18 years old. He could still grow. So the Marlins got a guy that right now he's a shortstop. Half of these guys are shortstops. It's a sexy position to play when you're a kid and when you're growing up. So what happens with Cappy as he gets older? Does he move to third? Does he move to the outfield? That'll be the question. But having a nice arm gives him that ability. Last name we're going to cover. What would I be doing if we weren't going to talk about a Blue Jay? Gotta give something for my Blue Jay fans, and that is Manuel Beltre. Now he's the number 24 prospect on the international list by MLB. He's a kid. He's 16 years old. He's a ways away, but he's good. They consider him possibly, the word from MLB is MLB's scouting department is that he might be the most advanced hitter in this year's class, and that's saying something for his age and for some of the guys that we've talked about already on this list. The guys that we're talking about with Cespedes and Colas, to have Beltre as one of the more advanced, and look at how much he got. He got $2.6 million. The 24th prospect getting more than the top guy, Cespedes, who got 2. So you go with Beltre, you got $2.6 million. He's a righty bat, 5'10", 165. He's 16 years old, so he's still growing. What does he move into? How tall does he get? How big does he get? Will be interesting. But they're actually, again, he's a shortstop, just like almost everybody on the list. Where he ends up playing is still to be determined, but scouts love the makeup, his IQ. He seems to love the game, work ethic. He's a work horse. It is a great sign, a great get for the Toronto Blue Jays. So a lot of moves. This was Who Wants to Make a Deal Day, and we saw it with the arbitration. We saw it with International Signing Day. Listen, if if you like prospects, if you like a nice stacked minor league system, everybody's minor league system got a little bit, or in some cases, a lot better today, with the Dodgers getting 2 in the top 10, with the White Sox getting the top guy. Again, Cespedes probably going to be a top 5 in the White Sox system. Be very interested in Baseball America's ranking when that comes out. I think that comes out in about a month. I think Baseball America's ranking. Now, if you get the Baseball America magazine, it's already there, right? You've got they've been ranking the divisions and doing all that, so you can see the top 10 anyway. But you got to think they'll update that, and I'm interested to see where a lot of these guys land. You've seen me with a lot of the stuff that I do on here. I'm not paid to do it. I just love it. You see the Baseball Forecaster. That's from baseballhq.com. And that stuff, they have a ranking system for prospects too. They put out their top 100 a couple weeks ago. It's for subscribers only, I believe. But if you you check the community page here, I did post some of the names that were on there, and and we had gave you a little taste of who's in the top 100. Blue Jays had, I think, 4 or 5 names, and Austin Martin debuted at 15. Spencer Torkelson debuted at 3. That was a big one for the Tigers to have that hanging out there. So big day. I mean, just a huge day, fun day, very busy. If you set the alerts for some of these guys, your phone was just blowing up all day long, and that's just. I mean, today was great for that. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. Do you pay attention to the International Signing Day? Do you care much about the arbitration stuff? I think it's fascinating again, because when we're talking about the arbitration, the deals that are done, now we're talking about, okay, that's what Bryant's got. That's what Baez has. That's what Hader has if a deal's happening. And again, that's what the Dodgers didn't want to pay Buehler. The Cardinals didn't want to pay Flaherty. So does that hurt the Dodgers or the Cardinals when they get to the point where we got to resign these guys long term? We got to, we no longer have control over these guys. It's an open market. Anybody can sign them. These are the types of things that can stick in their mind, because they're going to go into that arbitration room, and the Dodgers are going to tell Walker Buehler why he's not worth what he thinks he's worth. And that's just tough. That's tough right there. Everybody, thank you guys for hanging out here. We have a great Friday night BALLCAP Nightcap going on here. Thank you for everybody that's hanging out in here. Normally we do this on Tuesdays, and today we popped up on a Friday because this was such a big day. So many deals were signed. The Yankees got active. Finally, the Yankees got active. If you're a Yankee fan, you probably were chewing your fingernails off because it looked like the LeMahieu thing wasn't going to go your way, but it did. And even better, you woke up on a Friday morning and you hear that DJ LeMahieu's coming back. And it's 6 years. Maybe you don't love that, but you love the $90 million. That was just just wonderful. That was just a wonderful deal. Let's see here. Reds need Hader, but it won't happen. Yeah, I don't think the Reds are going to go. I just don't see the Reds. I actually saw the Reds attached to somebody the other day. I don't remember who it was, but I was shocked. I was shocked to see the Reds attached to any free agent at this point. I just don't understand it. Let's see. Austin, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Let's see here. Who else? You guys are a big part of this too. We're up at about 145 right now. So thank you everybody that's hopping in. I'm sure we have a bunch of new viewers in here. So thank you guys for checking out the channel. Thank you for checking out this community that we're building. If you like to talk, you guys that are commenting, I think we have a great chat going on too. A lot of you guys are talking about other stuff while I'm talking about my thing. That's fine. That's great. And I try to get to the questions. So, we're building a fun community. And if you enjoy it, I hope you want to be a part of it. And I hope you subscribe, and make sure you like the video as well. that always helps. Just kind of, push the video to more eyeballs. The algorithm, guys, the more likes it gets, the more people check it out, and we can grow this community. A lot of guys that have been here from the beginning. So thanks for being here. Let's see. Offseason finally heating up. Yes, it is. Any DH news? There was some talk that I saw something. I don't remember who I saw it from, and I wish I had screenshotted the tweet, but there was something from somebody, maybe somebody in here saw it, that was talking about, the DH, the postseason, the runner on second, that they were leaning towards reinstituting some of that stuff. I don't know if anybody saw that on Twitter as well. I don't remember if I saw it from Heyman or Feinstein or somebody like that. But yeah. Let's see. Jack thinking Springer to Jays or Mets. I want it to be the Jays, but I'm worried it's going to be the Mets. That's a hard question for me to answer because I'm biased, man. I'm a Jays fan, right? Like, here's the hat. So where do you think I want him to go? But so it's hard. It's hard for me to answer that question because I'm worried they're not going to come to the table with the money. And so anybody who's not a Blue Jays fan, you guys comment in the chat where you think Springer's going to go, because I'm too close to it. Let's see here. Iron Sports, welcome in, buddy. Let's see here. Yankees going to trade for Castillo. It'd be a great move. Luis Castillo from the Reds. I think they could. They've got the pieces, and if they did it would certainly put them over the top. Luis Castillo could go a lot of different. I mean, Luis Castillo, it makes sense for a lot of teams. I'd rather have Jackie Bradley Jr. Let's see, Scooter. I don't think I saw it. Where are your allegiances? Jays or Mets? I don't love Jackie Bradley Jr. I'll be honest with you. Seen him a lot. Being a Blue Jays fan, seeing the Red Sox come to town, I've seen Jackie Bradley Jr. a lot, and I quite frankly, I'm not a big fan. I think he's too streaky at the plate, and I know he's a great defender. I don't know. Don't know if I love that. Let's see. Orioles 2041. What's up, buddy? Don't know how good the Nats penned after the 19 disaster. I mean, the Nats are going to be in it. I know we probably have might have a lot of people down on the Nats, but the Nats are going to be in it. The bullpen's fine. They could certainly use another piece or two, but so could everybody. But the Nats are going to be in it. With the team they have, I think that the Nats are the number 3 team in that division, ahead of the Phillies and ahead of the Marlins. Now, if they can make another move to further solidify the lineup, then they're going to start pushing. You don't really want to just be a wild card, right? You don't really want that. You'd like to have a chance at, getting the division title. But anyway, I mean, the Nats could use another move. They could use another pitcher. I really thought that they would be in the Kluber sweepstakes. They might have been. They just maybe didn't win out. Kluber's at his point in his career. He wants to win. He wants to have a real chance at a championship if you're Corey Kluber. So I got to think that that's a big part of it. When you're Corey Kluber and you're thinking about where you're going to go, you're thinking about, I want to win. I'm not messing around. Corey Kluber wants to win a World Series. He doesn't want to go somewhere where maybe they'll win a World Series. Maybe they're a year away from winning a World Series. Corey Kluber wants to win a World Series right now. And that's a key point. He goes to a team that will be competing and will have their eyes set on a World Series for sure. Let's see. I think Bauer goes to the Angels. I do too. I think he goes there. I hope JT and Jock stay with the Dodgers. I honestly think that's going to happen. I think Turner resigns, and it's close. That's the word, is that it is close that Turner is going to go back. And that just sort of makes sense with the LeMahieu deal done. I don't think they want to trade for Arenado within the division. I don't think they want to mess around with Bryant. So I just feel like Turner heading back is going to happen, in my opinion. And then as far as Jock goes, I think that, the market for Jock and what he brings is not that much. And right now the Dodgers could use that lefty bat. And forget Jock's numbers last year too. Anybody that would throw Jock's numbers last year, listen, if you've been watching the channel, I'm handing out mulligans left and right for the numbers last year. And anybody who overperformed, I'm not quite believing. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid if you overperformed because you got hot and you didn't have time to cool off. Just like guys that were cool didn't have time to heat up. And I think that happened with Jock Peterson. Think about Jock Peterson. Jock Peterson has these stretches where he'll go 3 weeks and can't miss. And he didn't get that opportunity because he didn't play long enough, didn't have a chance. What about Ozuna to the Dodgers as a backup if Turner falls through, Jason? It's an interesting idea. I don't know. I think the National League teams are just going to, for Ozuna, I think his market doesn't really take hold until we know if there's a designated hitter. He'll have more opportunity, and more opportunity gives him a better negotiating stance. If there's more opportunity, if it looks like there's no DH in the National League, Ozuna's market is going to be 5 teams. But if there is going to be a DH in the National League, it's 10 teams. So he may wait for that reason alone. Let's see here. Jocktober is real. Right on. Let's see. Harden to the Nets. Yeah. I mean, big trade in the NBA. That was a big one. What do you think about Tanaka to the Padres? I don't know. I just have a hard time seeing Tanaka anywhere but in a Yankee uniform. I don't know what it is. I just don't see it. I think he either is with the Yankees or he's going back. That's what I think. Let's see here. What about Tanaka to Japan? I mean, I really feel like if it's not the Yankees, he's going back. Let's see if there's a DH. Will the Nats make Stevenson? I think if right, exactly. I think that if they do bring the DH back to the National League, Stevenson will be the leadoff. He will be in the outfield, and they will have Schwarber DHing. No doubt about it. I think so. Let's see. Hand to the Mets. Michael Fox. That's what it's looking like, right? I mean, that's the that's what's close, right? Here it is. These are the teams that are in on hand as of today. This was reported by somebody. I can't remember who. Let me look it up. While I'm talking, I'll look up who reported the Brad Hand situation. But these are the teams that are in the mix for Brad Hand. It was out this morning that the Brad Hand deal was close. And by a reputable source, right? It was Ken Rosenthal saying that deal was close. But then it backed up quick. Really quick. Within like minutes, his counterparts, John Heyman and Feinsand and all those guys were like, nah, and Morosi, like, hey, it's not close. And then Rosenthal backed it up too. Ken Rosenthal has the Astros, Dodgers, Blue Jays, and Mets as the teams who are still in with the Brad Hand sweepstakes. So that's why we've got these teams up here. Is these are the names to that are linked to Brad Hand. Looks like a 2-year contract for Brad Hand. I don't know. I was on with Tyler over at Wardy NYM earlier in the week, and we were talking about Brad Hand, and Fuzzy popped into Tyler's stream, and he's not a fan. and Fuzzy's been close. He's an Indians fan, so he knows about Brad Hand. So if you look at Brad Hand's statistics, looks all right. But the problem is Brad Hand's velocity is down. He's getting hit more. His Brad Hand's metrics, the underlying piece, is going the wrong way. His walks to his expected walks don't look good. Looks like there would be a rebound to the point where he's going to give up more walks in 2021, a higher walk rate than he had last year. So I don't know how excited about Brad Hand. So yeah, that's the situation with Brad Hand. I mean, so we got, that's what that's the other piece that we're talking about here is the what's next. We have some new names, some new faces in here, some new eyeballs. So, we'll touch on this one again. JT Realmuto has a big deal on the table, and it's 11 o'clock in the East. And quite frankly, I'm shocked that the word has not broken yet that JT Realmuto is re-signing. I just can't figure out what he's thinking. I mean, is he going to shop it? Is he crazy enough to shop it? Is he thinking that maybe the Blue Jays come running in and offer more? What is he thinking that he's going to hold on and just not sign that deal? That deal comes across your table and you snatch the pen from whoever's giving it to you and you sign that thing. He's got to get that done. I mean, what if it falls through? I mean, that's the thing. Phillies could pull it off the table. So they got to do that deal. And again, we were talking about it earlier, what this means for the Phillies franchise, the fact that, it shows the fans that we're not packing it in. We're not, we spent the money on Bryce Harper. We have our ace, Nola. And we're going to bring Realmuto back. We're going to keep Bryce Harper happy because he wants us to bring Realmuto back. I mean, that's, Major League Baseball isn't a star-driven league like the NBA is. Like if LeBron James says do it, the franchise does it. Baseball isn't in the same situation to where if Bryce Harper says sign Realmuto, then the deal happens. So it's, if it was, this deal would have already happened. So, we'll see. You got to think that the Phillies want to build the team and keep the team competitive. Otherwise, they wasted the money they signed for Bryce Harper, and they got to do this deal. They got to do this deal for sure. So it's just kind of interesting news that broke a few hours ago. Let's get back to the lineup here. Let's see here. Let's see, Jason. I don't know why, but I just have a feeling the Jays will end up with Bauer. We'll see. I mean, here's my thought about that. I mentioned it earlier. I'll mention it again. I know a lot of you have been here the whole time and heard me say it, but I think we have a lot of new folks coming in. Bauer wants to sign with a team that is going to show the aggressiveness to make moves and improve the team. What about this offseason so far gives Bauer confidence that the Blue Jays can do that? That's the problem. They were not able to get LeMahieu despite offering him a better deal. They were not able to do a Lindor trade. So what would give Bauer the confidence that the Blue Jays are going to be able to do it? That would be my only concern about the Bauer situation. They let him pitch every 4 days. I'm sure Toronto is a fantastic market. It's one of the, it's across the globe. It's a massive market. So he would get a big market globally, and he would get to pitch every fourth day. I'm sure, they would do what they want to do. I mean, he had the meeting with Toronto, and my memory's correct. He had, positive thoughts about it, but where does it ultimately go, and what does he look at? If Toronto can't get these deals done, I have a feeling that he's going to wait to see what happens with Springer. Trevor Bauer also wants to know what's next. So why go to the Angels then? So here's the thing with the Angels. They have shown the ability. They went out and got Rendon last year. They locked Trout up. There was all this talk that Trout was going to give serious consideration to go to the Phillies, his hometown. but they were able to lock up Trout. They've been able to bring big names. I know Pujols is a long time ago now, but they got Pujols. They got Justin Upton when Justin Upton was a big name in a big market. So the Angels have shown the ability to bring in big names. It hasn't always worked out, but they're able to go get names. And the Blue Jays just I hope, listen, I want the Blue Jays to do it. I want them to be able to bring in the big names. I want them to get Springer, but that'd be my only worries. CJ, Jays will finish third in 2021 if they add no one. I think I agree with that. I think I agree with that. Let's see here. We are going to, so if you're hanging out and you're just checking out the channel, make sure you subscribe. Join the community that we're trying to build here. We're going to get into the portion now where I'm going to let the chat, I'm going to let you guys, so if you're sitting there and you're hanging out and you want to direct this conversation in a certain way, comment in the chat, and we're going to let you guys sort of direct the conversation now. We're going to stay focused on what you see in the lineup, but the chat at this point, we're going to control the conversation. Let's see. Mystery team on Realmuto. Astros, Nats, Marlins. I mean, maybe the Cardinals. Did the Cardinals want to re-sign Molina, or do they want to sign a catcher of the future? I don't know. Potentially, maybe. Astros, certainly. Astros need a catcher. Are they going to roll with Maldonado? He's the only catcher they have. Let's see. Yeah, I just don't see Bauer. Thoughts on Padres versus Dodgers in 2021? I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be great theater. It's going to be great to watch. They're going to beat each other up all year long. NLCS and ALCS for 2021. I'm going to say it is going to be Dodgers and Braves. Sorry, Padres fans, but you're going to be close. If anything happens to the Dodgers, injuries or anything, then the Dodgers will be right there, or the Padres will be right there. In ALCS, I'm going to say White Sox and let's pick an American League team, Yankees. White Sox and Yankees. Cardinals for JT likely could happen. What's the most you'd be willing to pay for Bauer? 20 to 25 a year. I hate the idea of locking him in long term, but 20 to 25 for 4 years, $100 million bucks. And I don't think that gets it done. Let's see. Will the Brewers hit 500? Will they be a 500 team? I think they'll be a 500 team. That Central's looking ugly right now. So I think that the Brewers have a chance to be a 500 team. Top 5 players in baseball right now. Well, Trout, Acuna, Bellinger, Betts. I know I'm forgetting somebody. I'll go Tatis. Let's see here. Brewers make the playoffs? Probably. Cleveland. Hold on a minute. Where we go? Where'd you go? I saw somebody. Cleveland. Dan. Cleveland overused Kluber's arm. Probably 3 years over. He was their workhorse. And they were doing some good stuff. Let's see. We got Acuna over Soto. I forgot about Soto. I love Soto. We got a Tatis over Soto. We have a Soto. We have a push for Soto to the top 5. I think Soto has to be in the top 5. Trout, Acuna. This is a great question. I would probably put Soto ahead of Tatis. And it's tough. I love Fernando Tatis Jr. I think he's going to have a monster year. But I would probably put Soto over Tatis. I think I go Soto over Tatis. Yelich is out of the top 5 for now. He could get back in, but he's out of it for now. Let's see. NLDS is going to be amazing. The National League playoffs are going to be great. With the Mets and the Braves are going to be in there. The Padres and the Dodgers are going to be in there. The Cardinals will be in there. There's your National League playoffs right there. Is Lindor top 10? It's a good question. I know we got some people saying no. I'd have to look at it really if we're going to get out of the top 5 into the top 10. I mean, Lindor's awesome, and if he's not in the top 10, he's close. He's certainly close, and he's heading into a better lineup. I mean, I know he's not going to have J-Ram, but is this a better lineup? I think this Mets team might be a better lineup. So you might see Lindor, also track the age. He's entering his age 27 season. So you got him entering his age 27 season. I think this is going to be a better lineup than he had in Cleveland. So you could see it. I mean, I love Lindor. I think that he's going to have a fantastic season. Is the wildcard format going to remain the same? I don't think they've figured that out yet. The initial thought is they didn't want to do what they did last year, but so I don't think they've figured it out yet. Let's see. Lawrence, we see you there. It's not going to happen, my man. It's not going to happen. It's not happening. Fun, though, but it's not going to happen. You could do that on MLB The Show 21, probably. Let's see here. Orioles, we talked about that. Mystery team on Realmuto. I think the Nats are out. The Marlins, I don't think he goes back there. I think the mystery team is the Cardinals. That would be my opinion. Astros potentially, but I don't think the Astros or the Cardinals will match what the Phillies are offering. Is Buehler a top 5 pitcher? He's close. I don't think he's top 5. I don't know if Buehler's top 5. Let's see. Judge can be top 5 if he wasn't injury prone. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And again, this is what I'm saying. The chat is running the conversation right now. We're basically on top 5 pitchers, top 5 hitters right now. It's all good. Let's see. Top 5 pitchers. It's a good question. It feels like that changes every year, the top pitchers. It seems like that changes every season, who the top pitchers are. But, Garrett Cole's in there for sure. I got to think about it. I'm going to have to pull up last year's leaders. Darvish kind of goes in and out of that conversation. See, here's the thing. I wouldn't put Bauer in the top 5. I know we just won the Cy Young, but I'm not putting Bauer in the top 5. Shane Bieber's in there for sure. I'm gonna say Bieber, Cole, Bieber, Cole, maybe Walker Buehler is in there. Maybe Buehler is in the top 5. I mean, I'm just looking here at the numbers. Verlander, if he's healthy, is in there. But it seems to be something that just changes so frequently. Soroka, if he's healthy, is in the conversation. Ryu, I think Ryu's knocking on the door for the top 5. The way he has performed the last couple of years. Last year's war for pitchers. This is what I mean. The top 5 from last year pitchers war. Bieber was 1, Ryu 2, Lance Lynn 3, Garrett Cole 4, and Chris Bassett 5. So it's all over the place with pitcher. Strasburg, if he's healthy, Scherzer. That's what I mean. It's the pitching, top 5 for pitching. I feel like it changes every year. DeGrom, good point, DeGrom. So let's do Bieber and DeGrom for sure. And then Garrett Cole. So there's 3. Ryu, Sale hasn't been the last couple years. And that's the thing. It's like going off of the top 5 pitchers, if somebody's been hurt, you kind of gotta. I mean, you don't want to knock them for it, but if they're hurt, that affects their ability. And Lance Lynn's been great the last couple of years. Is Lance Lynn a top 5 pitcher? Did the White Sox acquire a top 5 pitcher in that trade? That's the big piece here. Anybody that is just checking out the channel for the first time, thank you guys. Please like the video if you're enjoying the conversation. Take a second and just hit the like. Appreciate the support that we get when you hit the like. And then, of course, if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. We're building what I think is one of the best communities in baseball on YouTube, and I would love for you guys to be a part of it. We got a long way to grow, and I just would love for you guys to be a part of it. If you do subscribe, I'd love to give you a shout out if you subscribe. So comment in the chat that you subscribed, and we'll make sure you get your name up on the screen. Subscribe and ask a question. We'll get your question up. And if you're creating any content, that's another thing I always talk about. Anybody that's trying to create something, put that in there too. Let me know if you're creating anything, and we'll give you a shout out. Maybe you can get someone to check out your channel. When you're trying to grow, all you ever do is want to try to get in there. Do you ever take off the cap? From Toma? I appreciate that question. And I don't. Embrant, thank you for the sub. Embrant also will give your latest comment a shout out here. Yankee rotation: Cole, Kluber, Severino, Montgomery, and Garcia. I mean, once Severino's back, that looks good. Anybody else that's subbed? Again, let me know if you're a new sub, and let's get a question up. Let's get a question up from you. And again, if everybody that's hanging out in here, we got 111 people hanging out. Hit the like. Let's get this as high as we can. Really appreciate that. It goes a long way, and I appreciate it. You guys could be doing a number of things, and you're all hanging out. So I appreciate that. Thoughts on Corbin Burnes? He had a nice year last year, right? There's some guys, and again, it gets back to my whole feeling of you kind of in one year and out the next. He was awful in 2019. I don't know all of the details, but he was terrible in 2019. He was great last year. Did he get Cy Young votes? He should have. Yeah, sixth in Cy Young voting. So he was fantastic, but is that who he is? I don't know. Again, I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid on guys to Lightspeed. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate that. I would say, again, I'm handing out mulligans and do-overs to everybody that struggled because there wasn't enough time to get out of your slump. I'm also not drinking the Kool-Aid on guys that just had an amazing season, had a career season in a 60-game season. So I'm not buying. I won't be buying Corbin Burnes. When I do my fantasy baseball draft, I'm not going to place Corbin Burnes up high because of what he did last year. I'm probably going to rate Corbin Burnes where I rated him maybe a little bit higher, but not so much so. Corbin Burnes is going to get a little bit of a boost, but there's a lot of. I'm not buying I'm not drinking the Bauer Kool-Aid. How good do you feel about Darvish? Darvish has been up and down. Now the metrics sort of point, in the right direction for Darvish. So, Baseball Domain, welcome in. CJ, I like that question. Dave Stieb or Roy Halladay for Game 7? Probably Halladay. Toma, if you're still here, I want to answer your question about the ball cap. Do I take the ball cap off? So, no. When I'm not on stream, I take the ball cap off. The ball cap is part of it's ball cap sports. So you're going to see me with a cap. When we're talking regular baseball, you're going to see it backwards. When it is a Blue Jays focused piece of content, you're going to see it forward with the Blue Jay logo. Again, I'm wearing the Blue Jay hat. I do have hair. I'm not balding. I don't wear it because I'm balding or anything. I'm not losing my hair. It's a ball cap hat. It goes with the theme of the channel. The best way to put it is and it may sound kind of cheesy and corny, but if you put a ball cap on, you're sort of entering a different state of mind. You're entering whatever. You're off the clock. You're probably not working. You're out to have fun. You're playing a game. You're out with your buddies. You're doing so. The ball cap just symbolizes that you're outside of work mode. It is a time to have fun, a time to be relaxed. You might be at the beach. You might whatever you're doing. That's why it's ball cap sports is to sort of symbolize that frame of mind. And I hope you guys are picking up on that a little bit with what we're doing. So you'll always see me with a ball cap. If I ever take the ball cap off, maybe, we might be talking about something a little too seriously. Are you for, Stephen Clay, thank you for the question. Are you for the universal DH? Elliot, I see you there, man. What's going on? I think I saw something earlier. You were having trouble with the camera. We got to talk offline about that. We got to talk offline. Let's see. Are you for? Yep, Donato. I'm a Jays fan, big Jays fan. Been a Jays fan since before it was cool to be a Jays fan. Before they won the World Series in '92 and '93, I've been a Jays fan since the '80s. Might not look like I'm that old, but I was really little. I hopped on the bandwagon really early. Are you for the universal DH, Stephen Clay? I feel like that's a loaded question. I feel like that's a polarizing question. You either are on the side of the DH or you're not. Baseball purists hate it. I don't know. I love the history of the game, but I'm for the DH. At the end of the day, I'm for the DH. Jason, am I Canadian? I am not, but I grew up in upstate New York, 20 minutes from the border, Watertown, New York. Nobody's probably heard of it. If you have heard of it, you got to let me know. But I grew up there. We were 20 minutes from the border. Now, most people were Yankee fans in that town, but I jumped on the Blue Jays bandwagon because we went to a couple games. It was a blast. The Sky Dome was awesome, especially from the eyes of I don't know how old I was, 6 or 7. Was incredible. So yeah, that's how the whole Jays thing happened. For anybody that wanted to hear that story. Let's see, CJ. Which starter would be easiest for Jays to acquire, Marquez, Castillo, or Gray? Probably Marquez. I feel like with Gray or Castillo, those deals not happening. They haven't happened because Lawrence, Brooklyn. I feel like those deals haven't happened with the Reds because maybe the Reds are asking for too much. And maybe they don't want to do that deal. Nathan's got Colomé to the Astros. They need the closer. Wouldn't be a bad one. So I think it would be Marquez, honestly. And to get him out of Coors Field, I think that would be a great move. Hey, by the way, who digs the logo with the nightcap on the MLB logo? Anybody notice that? Who digs that? It's a very subtle thing, but I'm very proud of my little nightcap there. Let's see. AJ Cole will end up. AJ Cole's back, right? Let's see here. Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate that. Anybody else that digs the logo, let me know. Again, it's subtle, but I think it's pretty sweet. Donato, thank you for that. Brandon, so I live in Maryland. That's where we're living right now. Tim, thank you for that. BZ Baseball, thank you for that. Thank you guys for liking the logo. Appreciate that. And so we live in Maryland now, but raised in upstate New York. What's up with 100 Miles Giles? He's out for the year. He had rotator cuff surgery, Tommy John surgery, so he won't pitch until 2022. I'd be surprised if he gets a contract. He's not going to get a contract. Dan, thank you for the love. Where is Maryland? Sorry, not. It's close to D.C. That's the easiest way to put it. It's right next to Washington, D.C. Let's see. Do you think the Jays might go with Espinal or Biggio at third? I mean, Biggio could be the third baseman, but that's if they do something at second. It's too bad Jordan Groshans didn't get to get a full season in the minors last year because, you could be knocking on the door for Jordan Groshans if he had been able to play. Let's see, Steve, do you think LeMahieu signing makes more likely that Chris Bryant gets traded? I think after the Springer signing, because some of the teams that are in on Springer would do Bryant as a backup move. Roark for Price, get rid of Roark. They're going to have to get rid of Roark. No one's going to take on that salary either. Roark's making like the third highest. He's got the third highest salary for Toronto. I don't think anyone's going to take on that. Got to hope that Roark is number 5 and he pitches his face off. I mean, and easily move him out if he struggles. It's his last year on his contract. Let's see. I still don't see Bryant getting moved yet. Yeah, I don't think he gets moved until I don't think he gets moved until a couple more names come off the board. I mean, you might need to see Springer and like Marcus Semien come off the board. Blue Jays fans, strap in for this one. If Springer goes to the Mets and Bauer goes to the Angels, then you're going to start to hear Blue Jays in on all these other guys, Semien and Didi, and they're not good. Orioles with a hot take. Flaherty will have a better career than Buehler. Here's the only reason with that. Here's the only thing about that. Buehler's on the Dodgers. If you put Flaherty on the Dodgers and Buehler on the Cardinals, I think I'd agree with you 100%. But Buehler's with the Dodgers. Buehler could win 3 or 4 World Series. Flaherty, he's going to have to get past the Dodgers. So and ultimately we grade these things out by championships. That's what makes you all time. That's what makes your career great. Is the championships. You can still be great without winning, but you don't enter the GOAT conversation if you don't have a bunch of titles. And I think Walker Buehler has a chance to have 4 or so titles by the time he's done. Dan likes Castillo. I think he'd be a great piece there. Entering a Dodgers dynasty, Jason. I mean, anybody who hates on the Dodgers, there's just so much talent and it's so young. I mean, if things happen though, it's hard to get through the playoffs. Like back in the day when all you had to do was win the American League and win the National League, or all you had was you had the East and the West and you had one series to get to the World Series. It was easier to win, but the Dodgers could easily get tripped up because they could just catch the Padres at the wrong time. So the Dodgers certainly will be the favorite. It's going to be tough to get over the Dodgers, but in a playoff series, flukes can happen. Somebody can get hurt. The Padres did not have their best foot forward in the 2020 playoffs because they didn't have Lamet. They didn't have Clevenger. So it comes down to a lot of things working out right. It comes down to a lot working out right. Let's see here. Thank you guys for hanging out again. It's a Friday night nightcap, and I appreciate everybody that is hanging out here because it's Friday night, and you could be doing a lot of other things, and you're hanging out with me. I appreciate that. Let's see, Jerry. We got another Dodgers fan. A lot of Dodgers fans. I picked up a lot of Dodgers fans during the playoffs, and I appreciate every single one of you. Some of my most viewed content has been Dodgers videos. So, picked up a lot of Dodgers fans. I appreciate you all. I like the Dodgers. I like a lot. I like pretty much every team. I'm a fan of the Blue Jays, but I just love baseball, man. And I like all the teams. That's why this isn't a Blue Jays channel exclusively, because I would not be able to just exclusively talk Blue Jays. You have a lot of great channels that just focus on their team. And I wouldn't be able to resist talking about everything else that's going on. I'd get too distracted. What's your all-time lineup, Charlie? That's a good question. What are we talking? Are we talking in baseball history? Because that's a tough one. Are we talking Blue Jays, my favorite team, all-time lineup? I could probably throw an all-time lineup together for the Jays, but you got to let me know. Dodgers fan or not, after all, we're all baseball fans. Right on. Daniel, let's go Mets. It's a good time. It's a good time to be a Mets fan. Jays will end up with JBJ. Don't say that. I'd like Colomé. I'd like Paxton. But if we end up only getting Wong and Jackie Bradley Jr., I don't know. I mean, I guess they'd be upgrades over Travis Shaw and Derek Fisher, who came up earlier. But we'll see. Book Look, yeah, I get that a lot, the Justin Verlander thing. I do get that a lot. Never got it until I started doing the channel, and then people started pointing out that I look like Justin Verlander. I might have to do something with that. I might have to work with that. Sean, let's go Yankees. How good are you feeling, Sean? It's a good day for the Yankees fans. We got some Yankee fans chiming in here. Let's see. We need to grow the community for MLB YouTubers. Right on. Ethan, are you creating content? Because if you are, I want to give you a shout out, my man. Anybody that's creating content, let me know. I will give you a quick shout out. And anybody that's here, please subscribe. I do appreciate the support. Would love for you to join this community that we're trying to build. And I think we're doing a good job. And, I'm looking forward to the season starting, man. I'm looking forward to that. We're going to have a lot of fun once the season starts. Let's see here. Yeah, Kate Upton walks by in the background. Again, it's funny, that whole Verlander thing. Never dawned on me. Nathan is creating content. We'll give you a quick shout out. Nathan's doing some stuff. Let's see. Ethan is making Yankees videos. So check him out. Appreciate the sub. Thank you. So anybody, again, any new subs, if you're just subscribing right now, let me know and throw a question into, because put your name up on the board. We'll give you some question. We'll answer your question. We'll dive into your topic if you're subscribing, and you let me know. We'll ask a question, and you can direct this conversation. Let's see. Charlie, starting in center field, Griffey or Trout? That's a great question. I would go Griffey. I grew up watching Griffey, and he was incredible. Now, at the end of the day, it's probably, at the end of the career, I think Trout's going to surpass Griffey, but he's got to get there first. He's on track, but Griffey was also on track to take out Hank Aaron's home run record, and then he went to Cincinnati, and then he got hurt all the time. That was the trouble with that. Are you more a Yankee fan or Dodger fan? From Brandon. It's a great question. Again, I've stated I'm a big fan of baseball. I love the history of baseball. I want a Dodgers and Yankees World Series. Like, if I can't have the Blue Jays in the World Series, I am constantly rooting for a Dodgers and Yankees World Series for the historical aspect of it. I am extremely respectful of what both of those franchises have done over the history of baseball. I love it. So if I had to, who would I be more of a fan of? It's the Dodgers, and it's because I'm a Blue Jays fan. So as the season's going on, I want the Blue Jays to beat the Yankees, right? Again, if I can't have the Blue Jays in the World Series, I want it to be Dodgers or Yankees. So, Dodgers and Blue Jays would be great, and Dodgers and Yankees would be a great number two. So that's my feeling about that. But I have great respect. I bought books that talk about Yankee history, just because so much of the history of the game is tied up in what the Yankees have done. Let's see. Next deal the Yankees may make from let's see. And I'm thinking, are you making content? Let me know. Anybody's making content. We have some new names popping up here in the chat, so I appreciate the new eyeballs and the new we got a lot of new guys. Anybody that's new, please subscribe and come on back. We go live every Tuesday. That is booked. Every Tuesday at 10, we do the nightcap. And then as needed, we pop on, and that's why we're doing the Friday night thing. So, we probably have a lot of new folks in here because it's a different day. But make sure you subscribe and stay close, because Tuesday nights we rock. At 10 o'clock, we do the nightcap. But what might the Yankees do next? I feel like it's either they make the move and make a trade for a lefty, because you can't. It's not like you can go sign Didi. You kind of got to trade something away, because there's no room for a lefty bat that's on the free agent market right now. So you got to make a trade. I still think, I brought it up a couple weeks ago in my Trade-A-Palooza video, that Luke Voit for Joey Gallo is not a bad deal. Yankee fans that are in here, you got a lot of Yankee fans in here right now. Would you be on board Yes or no? Yankee fans, would you be on board? Sean, thank you, buddy. Sean, Ethan, we got a couple other Yankee fans. Are you on board with Joey Gallo for Luke Voit? Would you do that? Dan, yes, the Yankees do need pitching. So I think the next move is one of the two things. They're going to add, they'll get maybe one bullpen piece. They address and get another starter. Not a big name. It'll be somebody that is more of a, not a project, but a prove it kind of guy. Somebody that probably do a 1-year deal for, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9 million and prove that he's got it, right? Which is a great situation for the Yankees to be in. Let's see. Brandon likes it. The Gallo deal. Don't know about Luke for Gallo. It's tough. I mean, here was my thought process. Let me see if I can remember my thought process for Gallo and Voit. So if I remember right, Voigt's a little bit older. Gallo's younger. So the Yankees get a younger player, but financially, Gallo is in year 2. I think he's got one more year of arbitration, and then he's a free agent. Luke Voit is just entering arbitration. So the Yankees would get the younger guy, but closer to being an unrestricted free agent. And the Rangers would get the guy who's a little bit older, but they have more control over. That was my whole thinking for, Gallo for Voit. Yes, Voit has a lot of time left under control. Gallo does not, but Gallo is younger. Let's see. Keep Luke Voit is better than Joey Gallo. Gallo is a hothead. Okay. Listen, I put it out there for Yankee fans. You guys let me know what you think. You have a better handle on the pulse of everything. But let's see. Daniel would do it. I mean, it's kind of split on the whole Gallo for Voit thought. Who are the Cubs most likely to re-sign to a long-term? I have no idea. I mean, they're talking about trading everybody. Baez and Bryan and Contreras. I don't know. Who's their super utility guy? Maybe he gets a long-term deal. I don't know what they're thinking. One of their sixth inning guy out of the bullpen gets a long-term extension. I don't even think they're interested in discussing that at all. Let's see here. The Yankees don't really need another outfielder. Would have to trade Frazier for pitching. Right. I mean, no need. That's the thing. Yankees cannot address the left-handed bat situation without making a trade, because if they sign somebody, there's nowhere to put them. Like you said, Ethan, you would have to trade Frazier to address the pitching, and then that would open up a spot for a lefty bat. Jock Peterson, I like that idea. Dan Tran, that's not a bad idea. That's a nice idea. But the problem is there's no room for Jock Peterson right now. They would have to trade somebody to make room for Jock Peterson. That's the thing. And the Yanks do still need some pitching. But again, that's what we're talking about. Maybe they sign, but you don't want Jock Peterson playing every day. That's what we've learned. We don't want Jock Peterson playing every day. We want to give him a chance to succeed. We want him out there against right-handed pitching. We don't necessarily want him out there against left-handed pitching. Stanton DH at first base, DH. Yep, they do. I mean, they got to do something. I mean, and they've got so much money wrapped up in Stanton. Judge is still in the arbitration years. Torres, I mean, it's tough. They got a lot of control over some of these guys. Let's see. Sean has a YouTube channel. Again, I'm giving shout-outs to everybody that's creating content. BALLCAP Sports, follow me on YouTube channel. I have 4 followers on YouTube channel. BALLCAP. So if you are looking for some more baseball content, Sean is doing some stuff. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. I packaged Frazier for Castillo. Like, I mean, would the Reds do that? I think if you did, hypothetically, if you sent Clint Frazier and probably a pitching prospect in that 15 to 25 range, I would think you could get that deal done, right? I mean, Castillo's got control. Castillo's in his first year, right, of arbitration. So I think that you could do that deal. Clint Frazier and a Yankee prospect, pitching prospect in that 15 to 25 range for Luis Castillo. What's who says no to that? I don't know who says no to that. I think it's good. Let's see. Yankees need to bring back Brett Gardner. I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, I don't see it happening. Let's see here. We're helping people out. Ethan is subscribing to Sean. We got people helping people here. This is good stuff. Let's see. Olympic baseball. We got to have the Olympics. Shit. We got to have that thing. I know the Olympics got pushed back. I don't know if they're going to have it. Think about it. We'll sidetrack real quick just for a second about like the Olympics and attendance and the pandemic. Baseball and the sports here in America, they have to go, right? They have to go. They can't sit it out because their seasons, their time frames are sort of tighter, right? The Olympics, if they decide, you know what, all right, we're not ready in 2021 because we feel like in 2022 we will be able to have full arenas, full stadiums, fans everywhere. Why wouldn't the Olympics just push it off until 2022? You know, I have a sinking suspicion that we're not going to be globally ready to do the Olympics. I don't think they're going to want to do the Olympics with social distancing and all that, where they could just say, you know what, let's just wait one more year. We already pushed it off 1 year to begin with. Let's wait one more year. And then in 2022, we have the Olympics. We got people with the vaccines. We can have attendance. We can do all that stuff. I don't think the Olympics is going to happen in 2021. Yeah, you can put me down on that prediction right now. Let's see here. Jeannie, hello. Welcome in. Let's see here. Anybody hanging out that is new to the channel, again, please hit the like and subscribe. Love the support. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at Jim Riley Live on Twitter. I'm going to be putting together a BALLCAP Sports Fantasy Baseball League or two. If you want to join that, if you have any interest in doing that, then if you want to play with me and some of the other subscribers and followers, you got to hit me up on Twitter to do it. So send me a message. Follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back. We'll both get a follower out of it. And Ethan, yeah. So find me on Twitter at Jim Riley Live. That's my name, Jim. So at Jim Riley Live. It's at the ticker at the bottom, right there. At Jim Riley Live. And you follow me, I'll follow you back. We can DM. That's how I'm going to get the invitations out. That's how I'm going to get the links out for anybody that wants to join it. So you find me on there, and we can get you set up to do the fantasy baseball league in 2021, and hopefully it will be a full 162. Let's see. Walker just tweeted he's ready to change his icon to blue. Let's go, Taiwan Walker. Come on. You know what? Taiwan Walker ready to change his icon to blue because he changed it to red. Walker changing that icon to blue is good enough for this one. Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news here into the BALLCAP Sports News Network. Taiwan Walker is ready to change his icon from red to blue. We have our man on the street, Kyle, with the news. Kyle, what are you hearing, buddy? Anyway, Ethan, good for. All right, let's see. You got me on Twitter. Let me see if I can hit you back. Let's see. We got a couple, so let me just follow you guys back. Boom, done. Anybody that wants a Twitter follow and won't unfollow me after they get my follow, okay? We're not doing a follow train. That's a bunch of BS. Find me on Twitter. I'll give you a follow back. This baseball community can live on Twitter as well. So do that. Let's see. Sean, agree with you about the COVID. Goes away for people back to ballparks again. Do you think I don't know, man. I mean, if this thing goes on, then you can see it getting ugly, but I don't think it'll be too bad. I think we'll get things back. I think we'll get things going again. I hope we'll get things going again. This is just depressing. So again, sports is fantastic because it gives us an escape from this crap. But then the problem is it's just a reminder that it's there when you turn on a ball game and there's nobody in the stands. But the product on the field, being able to do, fantasy baseball and fantasy football and all that other stuff is good. I mean, Daniel, I saw you, I followed you back, and, baseball's tough because it's hard to put together a product without fans that doesn't show the glaring fact that there's no fans. Football, the camera's on the field. It doesn't show the fans. Basketball, even to an extent, it's on the court. You do see, sometimes you get it pans back a little bit. You see the crowd, but they've done a good job of dressing up. Baseball is just, I don't know, it's just tough. I feel like the other sports have been able to mask it better. Unfortunately, baseball, it's glaring because the fans are supposed to be right behind home plate and right in the. I mean, you see the damn stadium all the time. Ethan, take care, buddy. Have a good night. I hope we can see you again for a future stream. Let's see here. They got Ryu, and maybe they can get lucky on Springer. I hope so. I think if the Jays can land Springer, it puts them in position to maybe get Bauer. I don't know if I want Bauer. I know a lot of Jays fans do. I don't know if I do. But if they sign Bauer, I will be on board. I will not be complaining and whining about it. I will be there. Let's see. Taijuan Walker, I'm ready. Come on, man. Let's get a Taijuan Walker deal done. Let's do it. Come on, Taijuan. Sign that deal. Kyle, you keep an eye on it, and if it happens, you let me know. And if it happens, give me a sign to fire up the breaking news again before you announce it. Let's see. What's going on with Hand? Nothing. It was close. The Mets were doing the Mets had a 2-year deal. Rosenthal thought the deal was in. It wasn't in. And in the end, all we learned was that it's the Dodgers, the Mets, the Blue Jays, and the Astros that are in on Hand. That's it. Yeah, I mean, I'd actually love to get up to Citi Field. I have not been there yet. I want to get up to Citi Field. Let's see here. Here is in the house. Welcome in. Let's see. Baseball Domain. I'll let Kyle answer, but I think he's being confident. He's showing some confidence in there. I don't think there's anything out there that's really solid about it. Brandon, what does it take to get Hader on the Yankees? I mean, we were talking about trades. I mean, I would think that I had a hypothetical trade in the Trade-A-Palooza video we did, where I had the Brewers and the Yankees doing Miguel Andujar and a prospect for Josh Hader. Andujar's not going to play. Send him to Milwaukee where he can go hit 25 to 30 homers. And as long as, if the Yankees are sending a pitching prospect back, I think the Brewers do that deal. Yankee fans, any Yankee fans still in here? Do you do that deal? We were talking about Gallo for Voit earlier. Do you do Andujar and a pitching prospect, maybe someone in that 10 to 20 range for Hader? Do you do that? Or do you feel good about the lefties right now? I mean, you've got Chapman and Britton. Do you feel good? Do you want another one? Steel Badger wants Hader to hang around. I don't blame you, but with Williams stepping up there, Williams could be your closer. And, if you can get a good pitching prospect from the Yankees, I don't know. I mean, it's just Brewers need help in a couple different areas. Jason would want one more bullpen arm. So Curtis, someone said Iowa Field of Dreams game. One of us still going to do that. I've actually had my eye on that as well. I'd love to go to that, but it was going to be limited attendance anyway. And with this, there may be 100 people there, and that's going to get sold out. The White Sox fans are going to grab those tickets for sure. Yeah, I can't take 1 a.m. news here. I don't want that either. Let's do it. Let's see. ABBA. They should go after Baez, Chris Bryant, sign Bauer and Springer, sign Walker back. That would be a lot of money. But all that would do would be them spending money like the Padres. We've seen a team spend that kind of money. And the Blue Jays, if they decided, you know what, we're going to drop $100 million, they actually wouldn't even have to be $100 million to do that. But I don't think it's going to happen. What time did Jay sign for you? Wouldn't have to. Yeah, it was late. It was late, CJ. That was actually one of my first reaction videos to a signing was the Ryu deal. That was the first video I ever did that got over 1,000 views was when Ryu signed with the Blue Jays. It's what gave me the motivation to keep doing it. It's like, oh, okay. People will watch my stuff. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, the time difference. Right. I mean, time. I mean, got to remember too. I mean, it's midnight in the East. That means it's 9 in the West. So plenty can still happen. I'm actually surprised there aren't more 2 a.m. deals. 1 a.m. deals with the West Coast. Do you think the Yankees deep down regret Stanton's contract to view him as highway robbery? I don't think they view it as robbery, but I'm sure if they were to go do it all over again, knowing what they know now, which is impossible, but I'm sure they would not do that deal. He just hasn't given them. He hasn't given them what they traded for. Let's see. Inside source by Yankees and Mad Max deal. You got 2 other things right. Let's see here. Walker did me with the Giants, but not much interest there. Let's see. Yankees have a ton of weapons. They do. They certainly do. Thoughts on Baez and Stanek to the Astros from Nathan? Stanek or wait, who am I looking here? Yeah, Stanek, Baez. So I think if we're thinking about destinations for Javi Baez, New York has popped up, like the Yankees popped up. I don't think it's going to happen. But Houston wouldn't be bad. But here's the thing with Houston. Right now, that infield where he would play is, it's every position's taken, right? Bregman's at third, Correa is at short, and Altuve is at second. There's nowhere for Baez to play right now. And it's not like, you're going to have a swap like Correa for Baez. That's not going to happen. Are the Brewers a front runner in the NL Central? I would give that to the Cardinals. Astros need the money to re-sign Correa. They're going to an arbitration hearing on Correa. Correa's gone. Correa's got 1 more year in Houston and he's gone. I firmly believe in that. Any Astros fans that are hanging out here, do you agree that Correa's got 1 more year and then he's gone? Which, if you're an Astros fan, that's got to just be disappointing because this team was so promising. What? Kyle, don't say that. Did that really happen? I trust you, man. That didn't happen, did it? I got to reopen my Twitter. I got so many searches that if I try to, let me just pull up on my computer. I don't know why I'm looking at it on my phone. Why would he go to the Yankees? No way. I'm not buying it. Hold on a minute. Let's see here. Tweet it at me. What are you finding? Anybody that sees any Taijuan Walker deal? Let's see. I don't see it. Hold on. Where you got it? Where is it though? I don't see it. Where is Taijuan Walker? I don't see it. Not seeing it. I'm looking. Sorry for the silence, everybody. I am very. Yeah, but that was like, what was that? Hold on. Let's see. Where's he getting it from? I see who you sent it. Who sent it from? This Rusty. Who's he getting it from? I feel like this is speculation. Let's see. Which I know you would be pleased about if it's just speculation. I feel like, let's keep an eye on Walker, everybody. I don't see it either. I do see some people tweeting about that potential, but I don't see it. I mean, that kind of fits, we're talking about what the Yankees could use. I mean, Taijuan Walker kind of fits the bill. I don't think it's going to happen. I would be interested where Rusty got that from. Rusty Rages Regular. Let's see. Do I see Cameron Maybin back to the Yankees? I don't think so. Right-handed bat and that outfield is too much. There's just too many outfielders. See, Jays have room for Bauer, Springer, Walker. They do. Financially, they do. I just don't know if they can spend the money. I don't know if they can spend the money. We are actively trying to search out any Taijuan Walker to the Yankees news. Anybody that is just hopping in right now, that's the reason for the silence, is that there is a little bit of Twitter activity that there could be something on the verge, but it doesn't look like it. I'll be honest, until one of the sort of the top five posts anything, Feinsand, Rosenthal, Morosi, Heyman, or Passan, until any of them throw anything out there, I'm not going to buy it. Abba Egger, thank you for the super chat. No comment there, but give me something, man. What do you want to promote? Anything? Do you want to ask a question? What do you got, man? Spotlight's on you. Whatever you want. Again, if you want to promote anything, if you want to ask a question, direct the conversation in a certain way, I'll keep an eye out for your comment, and you got next dibs. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen, Kyle. I think. Listen, I mean, here's the thing: if it's close, these guys are going to be all over it. If you see Heyman or Morosi or any, I mean, one of those guys are going to be all over it. Just want to say, Jays to sign players. I hear you, man. Robbie Ray was like 2 months ago. Let's go. Let's do something. It is something we don't want. We don't want them to just sit with their hands tied anymore. Let's do something here. Let's see. I don't know if you have Twitter, but I put a follow on you, but I don't know if you have on Twitter. Lawrence, I'm on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Jim Riley Live. Let me see. If you followed me, I'll follow you back. Anybody that follows me on Twitter, I'll follow you back. At Jim Riley Live again. And I'll follow you back because, again, like I said, I'm building a community here. I want to, let's talk baseball all day long. I DM with you guys all the time. I got a bunch of guys that we just DM with. We could do that. So let's do it. Let's see. Buckeye Sports Toronto Blue Jays are looking to get Trevor Bauer. It's in the works. I mean, they're not in the works. I shouldn't say that. I don't want to sound like it's leading anywhere. But yeah, I mean that is in play. But does it happen? We'll see. I'm skeptical because I just worry, and let's throw up while we're talking about it because we've got it. We'll throw up some Bauer video. I worry that Trevor Bauer is going to just look at how the Blue Jays have performed in this offseason so far, and he's going to be like, I want a team that's going to be able to make moves, and these guys aren't doing it. So Trevor Bauer is going to look at what the Blue Jays are doing. He's going to say, I want to make sure I can go somewhere where the team can make moves, wants to and can. They're two different things. Do they want to make moves? Sure they do. Can they make moves? That's a whole nother conversation. So that's, that's it. Walker says he's ready. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Walker, and you're right, people are assuming Taijuan Walker to the Yankees, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen because I think he's going to sign with the Jays. I think that the social media activity lately has sort of led you to believe what he might do. He's got the blue shoes on there. He's got Blue Jays fans are awesome, showing love, and I appreciate that. Like, he's seeing it. This had to be one of the best situations of his career when he came to Toronto. It hasn't really worked out that well for Taijuan Walker up until recently, right? He was a heralded prospect. He was going to be the next King Felix, and that didn't work out in Seattle. He went to Arizona, got hurt, so that was crummy. Goes back to Seattle, pitches all right, gets traded to Toronto, and has the best 6-game stretch of his career. He had a 1.37 ERA with Toronto. And that's not just fluky stuff. That's working with the pitching coaches. That's working with the team. So the fans are showing him the love, and he seems like he's using social media to connect with Blue Jays fans specifically. I think he's going to sign with Toronto. We have some new followers on Twitter. Thank you guys for checking out the Twitter account at Jim Riley Live. Anthony, thank you for the follow. Cinderguards, I don't know how to. What I know what it is. That's the hammer. What's the name of the hammer? I can't pronounce it right now. I have to listen. I have to be watching the movie. I know what you're talking about. Daniel with the follow. Thank you. Ethan with the follow. Thank you. All of you guys, I follow you back. So anybody else, come find me on Twitter. We'll hang out there too all day long. Here does not like the universal DH. I mean, it's, again, half and half. Half and half. David, what's up, my man? No problem. Had a nice stream going there. Welcome in here. We're on Taijuan Walker watch because he's been tweeting, and some other folks are speculatively tweeting. I don't know if speculatively is a word, but it is now, as we're inventing words on the fly. Let's see. Blue Jays are looking to get Springer, Realmuto. I don't know if they want Realmuto. Let's see. Yankees need to get Didi. See, the thing is, where would Didi play? I think Didi would be a nice fit, but I don't know where he would play. And for the Jays, I don't think they're going to get Realmuto because I believe the Blue Jays believe that. And listen, we're going to have it's not going to be for a couple weeks, so this will have already played out. But we're going to be talking with Ben Wagner. We're going to be doing a 10 with Ben. I'm going to have some questions. I'm going to let you guys ask some questions for Ben Wagner. And one of those questions, if we do this while the catcher situation is still out there, one of the questions could certainly be, would the Blue Jays be in on Realmuto? Do they feel like, what I think they do, that they have 3 guys who can be major league catchers with Jansen and Kirk and McGuire? I feel like they just feel like they have 3 catchers, and adding Realmuto would just give them a glut at catcher. Yeah. Larry Fitzgerald, that is the word. And we have been talking about that too. Realmuto should have gone out and just ran and signed that deal. He has not yet. It's shocking that he has not. $100 million from the Phillies. Go sign that deal. JT Realmuto, don't mess around. Just go get that deal done. He needs to do it. Hadn't done it yet, but yeah, you got Realmuto looking at $100 million. That would be huge for the Phillies when it looked like they were going to pass on him to keep that team relevant. is just huge for that fan base. It's what they needed to do, quite frankly. Let's see here. Chances of Luis Castillo for Wolfgame going to the Yankees. I think it's a real chance. They have the pieces to do it, and I think they should do it. Let's see. What do we got? Just trying to keep. I don't see anybody. Yeah, I'm not seeing any Taijuan Walker news. Again, until Passan or Heyman or any of those guys does anything, and I'm not seeing anything. I have the alerts set on my phone to get anything that they push, and it's not happening. Anybody watch WandaVision? Random question that just popped up as I was searching. Anybody catch WandaVision? I watched the first episode. I need to watch the second one. Let me know what you think, what you thought of WandaVision. Random question, not baseball related. Who won the Jacoby Ellsbury deal? I mean, the Red Sox. It did not work out well. Walker is inconsistent and doesn't have a high enough ceiling. Walker's decent Jays, but aim. So here's the thing with Walker. The Blue Jays could get Walker and Bauer. Walker was a great story. Walker pitched very well for Toronto, and you got to think that it's just sometimes you put somebody in the right position with the right coaching staff, and they can make you better. Look, Garrett Cole when he went from Pittsburgh to Houston. I'm not saying Taijuan Walker is going to make that type of leap, but you guys get better when they join an organization and everything works. Sonny Gray was terrible with the Yankees. He was great with Oakland, awful with the Yankees, went to Cincinnati. What was he, back with his high school coach or college coach, and rediscovered himself. So the fit, the team that you're with is a big part. We have some fans of WandaVision. It's all right. They need some action. I noticed that they released the first 2 episodes, which led me to believe that the first episode was going to be very slow, which is what it was. It was like watching an episode of the Dick Van Dyke Show on Nick at Night or something like that. And so I was like, okay, they must be dropping 2 because that first episode must be all set up. And again, I watched the first episode. I haven't watched the second one. Let's see here. Loved one of it. I'm just glad to see some more Marvel stuff out. Like we have had, because of the pandemic, everything got pushed back. It's just watching that intro got me jacked up, even though it wasn't a big theatrical thing. Just watching that intro got me pretty jacked up. Charlie, Browns or Chiefs? You want to get a football question in? I'll answer a football question. I want the Browns to win. Do you know why I want the Browns to win? Because I want these guys to host the AFC Championship game. So I want the Browns to win because then the Bills are going to host the AFC Championship game. Yes, I have a Buffalo Bills helmet handy at any time somebody wants to talk football. Go Bills. Bills Mafia all day. I know, Kyle, you're a Browns fan. So go Browns, beat the Chiefs this weekend, and let's get a nice Browns-Bills AFC Championship game in Buffalo. And I'm going to hope it snows like 3 feet that day. All right. Fitzgerald's a Rams fan. Rams, who do Rams play? I don't remember who they play. Are they playing Packers? Let's see. Is Walker Yankees confirmed? It is not. We do not have any confirmation. There's a lot of speculation, as there typically is on social media. A lot of speculation. We don't have anything yet. I think he's going to ultimately sign with the Bills. Rams, Packers, boy, that's gonna be a tough one for the Rams. Daniel's a Jets fans. We can do this real quick. Roll call. Who's your football team? Everybody, real quick. Just who's your football team? Even if you're just hanging out in the background, just watching, not that active in the chat, just drop your football team. Who's your football team? David Knight, thank you for the super chat, my friend. I truly appreciate that. Who's your football team? I'm going to assume, let's see, I know you're in North Carolina, and I owe you a baseball card. I'm going to send that, I promise. Panthers. Yes, that makes sense. We got Seahawks, Giants, Panthers, Falcons, Giants, Rams. See, BALLCAP Sports doors closed on Yankees. I don't think so, Sean. I think that could still happen. Patriots, Rams, tough year for the Patriots. That had to be brutal going through that mess. Who do you want your quarterback to be? Do you want to go get Deshaun Watson? We got Rams, Giants, Packers. We got let's see, we got all sorts. A-Rod for MVP. I think Rodgers probably gets the MVP. I think you're right. Let's see here. Giants, unfortunately, tough days. You know, it happens. Falcons from Hayden. Tough year for the Falcons. But yeah, there's a little football rant for everybody. Let's see. Sean, a Bills fan, right on. Bills Mafia all day. Where do you think Watson will go? I have no idea. I mean, there's so many teams that need a quarterback. There's so many different ways that could go. I mean, he could still be in Houston. They could just disassemble that front office and make him happy. Let's see. Bills QB is legit. Josh Allen all day. Brandon's a Ravens fan. All right, Brandon. We got it. We got a date tomorrow night. Bills and Ravens. Anybody that saw my Bills video, I'm feeling the Bills. Obviously, why would I not? To be a Bills fan and to go out and say the Ravens are going to beat the Bills, that would just be crazy. Buffalo and Tampa Super Bowl, wouldn't that be something? Get the Bills against Tom Brady again. Let's see here. Larry's got Yankees, Rangers, Knicks. So wait, we got New York, LA, New York. How'd that happen? How did that happen, Larry? So let's see here. All right, let's see here. Favorite football team. Austin's asking who the favorite football team is. It's these guys. It's those guys. Let's see. Seen the movie Buffalo 66? I haven't. I have not. No clue. Just became a Rams fan. But okay. Sometimes that's how it works out. I picked my favorite baseball team based on the color. That's how young I was. And then I stuck with it. I picked my favorite baseball team based on the color. All right. So let's see here. Guys, let's think about this for a second. We are monitoring Taijuan Walker. We are not seeing anything. Let's see. Hold on a minute. I see you. I see Kyle. Taijuan Walker tweeting at Aaron Hicks saying, yo. Hey, maybe Aaron Hicks is getting traded to the Blue Jays. That's what that tells me, is that Mr. Hicks. Walker deleted the tweet at Hicks. Maybe isn't. Did he delete it? Let's see. Taijuan Walker. He did. He did delete that. He deleted that. Yeah. So what does that mean? What does that mean? Taijuan Walker. Don't go to the Yankees, man. That's just crazy. Maybe his account got hacked. Maybe he's got a buddy. He's got a buddy, grabbed his phone real quick and hit Aaron Hicks. Again, like I said, maybe Aaron Hicks is getting traded to the Blue Jays. We're going to have to see. But, that's good enough to fire up breaking news. Ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news here at the BALLCAP Sports News Channel. Taijuan Walker has tweeted at Aaron Hicks, yo. More news to follow as it comes in. Listen, all that tells me is maybe Aaron Hicks is getting dealt. Let's see here. Just having some fun here as it's pushing 12:30 in the East. I don't know if I'm going to get to my second episode of WandaVision. Appreciate everybody that is hanging out. If you haven't yet, please hit the like. If you like baseball, hit the like. Everybody that's in here right now, quick, go if you haven't done it yet. Hit the like if you like baseball. It's that simple. Now, if you might not like me. If you don't like me, that's fine. But if you like baseball, hit the like. And if you do like me and if you're enjoying this, please subscribe. Would love to continue to grow this community that we're working on. We're trying to cultivate here. So ultimately, other than Taijuan Walker, tweeting at Aaron Hicks, it's kind of a quiet night here. It was such a busy day out there that it seems like it's sort of like the dust is settling on just the day. And yeah, so here's what we're going to do for a second. I need to drink something because I'm going to lose my voice, but don't go away because I am going to entertain you for a second while I do that. We're going to run some clips for you guys just to enjoy for a minute while I get a drink and catch a breath. Don't go anywhere. Hang out. We got more talk coming up. Here's a few bombs.
He is not, and Tatis drives one to deep left field. He drives one to the moon. High, deep, and very gone. Fernando Tatis Jr. with a pitching they wanted too early from Nate Pearson. But here's a fly ball, and Bo Bichette, his 5th hit of the game.
Turner lifts a fly ball to left field and deep. Back towards the wall and gone. It's a new game on Turner's first home run.
Pitching they wanted too early from Nate Pearson. But here's a fly ball, and Bo Bichette, his 5th hit of the game.
That just happened.
All right. So there's some home runs. And there we go. Now we've got some beverage on board. We're good. Daniel, no, I don't believe we do not have a Taijuan Walker to the Yankees yet. If we do, we'll hit the breaking news. We're just having fun right now on it. There's some Twitter activity that our man on the street, Kyle, is monitoring, and we'll kind of see where it goes. David, today was crazy. Arbitration international signings were crazy. Listen, are you excited about who you got? Did you see who you got? You got a nice one. David, if you're still hanging out, we got a nice Nats signing with that international situation. They signed a bunch of guys. They got the 5th best prospect, Armando Cruz. Now he's 16 years old. He isn't going to be with the team for a while, but he got $3.9 million, which I believe was the second highest salary paid to any of these guys. And Cruz is Cruz is nice. I think it's a good situation. He's a great fielding player. They have to develop that hitting. I mean, to have a hit of 55 is nice. That power, that's not great. But the 55 hit, they're sort of comparing him to a young Jose Iglesias, which, you could go either way on that. Good glove, decent bat, but, hits at the bottom of the lineup. His kid's 16, right? Plenty of time for him to grow. He's 16, 5'10", 160. Plenty of time for Armando Cruz to get bigger. That's for sure. Let's take a look back and check on the comments. Let's see here. Get back down there. We also came to terms with Turner Soto to avoid arbitration. Yeah, that's big. That's another thing we were talking about is, let's see, BALLCAP Sports breaking news. Clint Frazier and Eric are looking to get a deal from the Blue Jays. Hey, you never know. Listen, we got to watch that. I wouldn't be surprised if Taijuan Walker is tweeting at Aaron Hicks, because Taijuan Walker is going to Toronto, and maybe Hicks is too. I'd be surprised if the Yankees and Jays pull off a swap, but who knows, man? Who knows? Suzuki and DFO are gone. That's okay. Hayden Miller, have a good one, buddy. Good night. Yeah, I think that one of the things we were talking about earlier with the settlements, these are the big names, these are the big signings. Let me get the crawl out of the way there. Soto gets 8.5, Turner gets 13. But what's big about this, and some guy, I understand if you snooze on this stuff, but to get these deals done, to not have to go to arbitration, I think this is Trey Turner's final year. Let's keep Trey Turner happy, right? Let's keep Juan Soto happy so that when you're trying to sign Juan Soto to a long-term deal, you don't have them remembering that 2021 season when, the Nats went to arbitration with you and told you aren't as good as you think you are. Because that is exactly what's going to happen with these guys. Flaherty and Buehler and Ohtani and Swanson and Soroka. These are the future stars of these teams, and they're going to go into an arbitration hearing, and their teams are going to say, you're not as good as you think you are. They're going to start picking out all your flaws. Elliot, thank you for the super chat, my friend. Let's go Mets. Elliot is a big Mets fan and has a lot to be happy about these days. Elliot is also starting to work on some content, so worth keeping an eye out for Elliot. So, these guys, again, all of them are going to just have a bad day with their organization in February. And do any of them, do they just look at it like, man, it's a business, it is what it is? Or do they hold it? I might hold it. If it was me, I might say, you know what? I don't like that back in 2021. I thought I was worth 3.5 and you thought I was worth 3.1. And then when we had to talk about it, you told me that I sucked. I don't want anything like that. Soto and Turner would be great for them to lock it. Man, I'm hoping that your Nats, because again, I live 45 minutes from Nats Park. I can catch a game, and it's great. I think Soto is going to be. Soto just has an untapped potential. So the whole thing about them not letting them go, I hope the Nats learned a lesson with Harper and Rendon leaving. They can't do it again. Sign them. Just sign them. Listen, I am not going to say I have an inside source, but I know a guy who knows the owner. At least I've done business in a previous business dealing life. I know a guy who knows the owner, and he just couldn't wrap his head around signing Bryce Harper to a deal that cost more than putting up a building that would then turn around an unbelievable profit. I mean, that's the Lerner family is in the real estate business, and the owner just could not wrap his head around signing a guy that would cost him more than building a structure, a high rise, a mall, or whatever, but not see the same return. Take that what it is. Again, I know a guy who knew the owner, and that was the situation. So yeah, that's my little insider information on that. So again, thank you guys, everybody that is here. I do appreciate you guys hanging out and coming in and checking out the channel. We're back over 100. It's 12:30 in the East. Where are you guys at? Are you in the East? Are you in the West? Let me know. We are talking a lot about what happened today and what's happening next, because that's really the big question. Is now that LeMahieu's off the board, now that I don't want to say a highly sought after pitcher, but certainly somebody who was up there in the as far as starting pitching goes is off the board. What's next? We have arbitration figures now for some guys that have been out in the trade wins, right? Now we know what Baez is going to cost and what Bryant costs and what Hader costs. Does that make it easier to make a deal? We got some in the Central. We got some New Yorkers. We got some left. Flint Frazier's in left. Kyle is stressing out over there with this Taijuan Walker situation. Let's see here. So that's what we're watching, everybody. We right now, it's 12:30. We're hanging out for a little bit longer because we are going to we're eyeing the situation with Taijuan Walker and Aaron Hicks, because Walker tweeted at Hicks and pulled it down, and who knows what's going on now. Yep. That's sort of what everyone's watching right now. I mean, Yankee fans, haven't you had enough? Come on. You got LeMahieu today. You got Kluber today. I mean, I guess technically it's Saturday now on the East Coast, so, it's a new day. But, let's see. I would think Walker wants to return to Toronto. We were talking about that. Walker's best stretch over his career came with the Blue Jays. So I have to think that he wants to return to where his best memories, and conveniently, it's recent. So you got recency bias on top of the fact that it was his best stretch of his career. So you got to think that he wants to do that. He wants to return to where he was best. And here's the thing. Here's the other thing. The Yankees, I don't think the Yankees are going to, Kyle, this was for you. I don't think the Yankees are going to know what to do with Taijuan Walker. Okay? The Yankees are a big club with the slider. What does Taijuan Walker throw? A fastball, curveball, and a changeup. Okay? So he doesn't fit. It's not going to happen. Taijuan Walker is not going to the Yankees. Before he goes to the Yankees, he would sit down and talk with the coaching staff, talk with the pitching coach. What do you guys do? What do you like? And Walker's going to sit there and be like, all right, that's not me. So Taijuan Walker's not going to the Yankees. It's not going to happen. He doesn't have a slider. If you don't have a slider, you can't make it with the Yankees. I'm saying that tongue in cheek. I'm sure I haven't done my research. You can fact check me on that. I'm sure there are pitchers that have done well that haven't had a slider, but their philosophy is to throw the slider a ton. And that is not Taijuan Walker's. That's not in Taijuan Walker's arsenal. So I wouldn't worry about that. Let's see. I am encouraging everybody that's hanging out here, if you haven't hit the like button yet, to please hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. We are hanging out here. It's 12:30 in the East. We are about 10 subscribers away from hitting the big 4,400, 4400. So anybody that is hanging out here, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. If you can help me get to that, just nice round number of 4,400, I would be graciously appreciative of it. We talk baseball a lot here. If you are a baseball fan, even if you just checking this out for the first time and you're not sure, why not throw the sub in there, keep an eye on the channel. If a month goes by and you're like, man, this guy sucks, then you can then bounce me. George, thank you for the sub. George, do you have anything you want to talk about? Let's see. When you like and sub, there's no buttons pressed. Good point. Tap the screen. Let's see. Kyle, it's all good, man. I'm telling you, it's all good. It's not gonna happen. He's not going to the Yankees. He will be re-signing with the Blue Jays. I would bet money on it. That's my feeling. Let's see here. In fact, let's have some more fun, because we're about having fun here. We continue to update this breaking news of Taijuan Walker, and is he going to the Yankees? Is he not going to the Yankees? We have new information into the BALLCAP Sports News Network. And, ladies and gentlemen, it is just in that Taijuan Walker's arsenal does not include a slider. He's a fastball, curveball, changeup pitcher, and without a slider, doesn't really fit what the Yankees' arsenal, their philosophy with pitching is. More news as it breaks. Okay. All right. Kyle's coming. I'm telling you, man, I hope I'm not wrong. I don't want him to go to the Yankees. I don't think it's going to happen. Can you recap, 77 Luke, can you recap your late to the party? So what we were talking about earlier, do a quick run through for anybody that's just joining in now. I think we've got about like 20 new people that have hopped in the last couple minutes. So I appreciate you guys coming in. We're on a sub push. We're trying to get 10 new subs before we hop off. We're a few subscribers away from getting to 4,400. We're trying to hit that number. So if you're checking it out and could be so gracious as to give me your sub, I would appreciate that. We're going to do a quick recap on what has been going on. In our first story, top story in the lineup, we were talking about Corey Kluber. Let's throw up his projection. Corey Kluber's projection for 2021. This is based on 102 innings pitched. Now, he could go over that, And really, obviously you're going to get more strikeouts that way. It's hard to chase wins when you're trying to come up with a projection. ERA, whip, that looks pretty good. What do you guys think in the chat? 1, 2, 3, over, under, looks good. I would probably say it goes over a little bit. I think if he can pitch a full season with the Yankees, he's going to win more games. He's going to strike out more guys. I think that ERA and whip look about right. I think that is a nice ERA and whip, and this is the rotation. So Yankee fans, you needed to do something because Sevy's not going to be back for a while. Kluber, it's probably not going to be number 2 in this rotation, but if you go through spring training, I think Kluber could earn the number 2 spot. Look at the competition for the number 2 spot. This is why they needed to go get Corey Kluber, because after Garrett Cole, we've been talking about this, there's just a bunch of question marks. And Corey Kluber is also a question mark, but Corey Kluber's ceiling is higher. What Corey Kluber has done is more accomplished than these other guys. So we talked about the rotation. We talked about Corey Kluber's projection. We also talked about the situation. We talked a little bit about DJ LeMahieu heading back to the Yankees. This is his projection for 2021. Pretty fair projection, honestly, based on his numbers. To project a 328 is pretty solid. Pretty solid on that 328. Let's see here. CJ, according to Brooks Baseball, Walker through the 4-seam sliders, but I'm getting my information. All right, maybe I'm getting my information from the wrong spot. We'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I don't know. We got different information on Walker's arsenal. All right. Well, I'm still going to stick with. I'm hoping that Walker doesn't go to New York. That he's going to Toronto, which that's what we're going to go with. All right. Anyway. Thank you for checking that. We'll have to get that definitiveness, but you might be right there. Careful. Kyle's on the ledge there. We don't want to push him too far. Anyway, DJ's projection for 2021. Comment in the chat. Let me know what you guys think about this. 109 runs, 20 homers, 84 RBI, 6 steals. A nice slash line. Pretty good stuff there. Here's the thing, Aiden, about the homers. I think that it's probably about right because he doesn't hit the ball in the air a ton, and his home run per fly ball ratio over the last couple years really spiked. And I don't think that's sustainable. So that's the thing about LeMahieu and the power. I would say that 20 is more reasonable because, that home run situation, he just doesn't hit the ball in the air enough, and I don't think that home run per fly ball ratio hangs in there. So anyway, so we talked about DJ, and let's see, we talked about Turner close to returning to the Dodgers. That's big news for the Dodgers. I think I was actually surprised that we didn't hear today that Turner was going to re-sign. Maybe they hit a snag. We heard that it was close. That was like 6 hours ago, and it didn't happen. So I'm curious to see what ends up happening with Turner and if he comes back. I think at this point, it would be a nice fit if they can get him back for, 2-year deal. I think that makes sense. Do a 2-year deal, and then you let him go. You cut bait on Turner, and you've got him. You roll with Turner long enough to when you then got to start shelling out the money for Bellinger, and when you're locked into a long-term deal for Seager at that point. So Turner can get you through. It's all good. Honestly, if they don't bring Turner back, that means Gavin Lux probably finally gets a shot. I know people are hot and cold on Gavin Lux, but the Turner situation is looking like it's close. It's close to him coming back and rejoining the Dodgers. And I think that's a fine move. As long as it isn't 4 years. If it's 4 years, that's a problem to me. But, we'll see how that goes. So we talked a little bit about Turner. We talked about Realmuto having a ton of money on the books, that he needs to go sign that deal now. We talked about Brad Hand and the situation. It looked like it was close, and then no. Not happening. Let's see. Kyle checked Walker's account. He's liking Jay's tweets too. Yeah, it's all good. Let's see. Mets sign Jock Peterson, Chapman, or Turner. They have to. I don't know. I don't think. I don't know. Here's the thing. The outfield. I don't see the Peterson piece. I don't think they'd want Turner. Maybe a trade for Chapman out of those three. Let's see here. Yes, Darcy, we are still going. We are pushing 3 hours. That's what we do here. It is 12:45 in the East. I don't know when I'm going to go to sleep, but we are just talking baseball because that's what I enjoy doing. And again, thank you all for hanging out here and being a part of it with me. We're at 100, and I appreciate that. So we were talking Hand. We're just doing a quick update, quick recap. We talked about the arbitration numbers, some big settlements that went down, some nice deals, some deals that could maybe lead to some trades. Now we know Bryant's figure. We know the Baez figure. We know the Hader figure, the Chapman figure. Does that mean a deal gets done for one of those? Let's see. Charlie, have a good one. Take it easy. Let's see. We did have a question. I can't find it. I'm trying to scroll. I can't find it. Anybody? Let's see. Springer and Mets. Springer more likely for the Mets, unfortunately. I think so, but you never know. Let's see. Elmi, thank you, buddy. Thank you. Toronto just needs to get serious, right? They just need to get serious. Get out there, give him what he wants, get the deal done. Overpay if you have to. Yes, I said that. And then we had the arbitration update, the guys that didn't settle. Again, I'm not a fan of some of these guys not getting their deals. Flaherty's not asking for that much more money than what the Cardinals offered him. Same with Walker Buehler. It wasn't that much more money than what the Dodgers were offering him. And does this turn into something where, the player remembers it in a couple of years when they're negotiating for a long-term deal? That's the only thing I worry about with that. That's my main concern. So we talked about that. We went through some of the big names that signed the international. We talked about Cespedes, the top guy, signing for $2 million, which was a good deal. Quite frankly, getting the number one player, $2 million, age 23, maybe just a couple years away, pretty good. And he'll certainly debut with the White Sox in the top 5. We had Colas, who did not sign. You see his numbers wherever he goes, and he's a pitcher too. Wherever he signs, he could get that 60 out of 80, which a lot of teams, a 60 out of 80 is your top prospect. So we'll see where that goes. And the Dodgers brought in two top 10 prospects, Diaz, shortstop, and then the catcher, Galiz. So some nice moves there. We talked about the Jays getting who most people feel is the most accomplished bat with Beltre. We'll see. I mean, $2.6 million for a 16-year-old. Again, the number one guy went for 2, and Beltre went for 2.6. So they obviously feel pretty high on Beltre. Let's see. So we're talking about that. Just doing a quick recap. Anybody that's just hopping in now, you're getting some of the stuff we talked about back in hour 1. We are approaching hour 3. Let's see here. We talked about Springer. Which way is he going to go? Mets, Blue Jays. It's really just down to those two. Let's see. Rumor for Yankees, Luis Castillo. I mean, it makes sense. Steel Badger, good night. Have a good one, buddy. What moves are the Red Sox planning, Luis? That's a great question. The Red Sox have been in on some guys. What have they been talking about? I need to think about that for a minute. They've been linked to some pitchers, right? Weren't they linked to Odorizzi? I feel like they were linked to Odorizzi. They need to do something, right? Because the pitching situation, I know they want to compete. I think they certainly want to compete now that they got Cora back and everything. I had I did my free agent prediction And I felt that the Red Sox would make a couple of moves. Let's see. Who did I have the Red Sox snagging when I did that? It was the I think I had him snagging Brantley, I think. Red Sox have been in touch with Colton Wong. See what that means. Wong's kind of talking to everybody. Looks like Colomé. They're in the mix for Colomé. Simeon. I mean, they want to do something for sure. They don't want to just lay down. I don't think they want to lay down at all. Let's see. Is Walker going to the Yankees? Owen Woodward. We're saying no. There was some activity. Where will Bauer go? I think probably the Angels, Larry. That's still my guess. Is Walker going to the Yankees? Owen, though? No, I don't think so. I know there's some Twitter activity on that, but we were looking at the Arsenal. I don't think it's a fit. There's been a lot of Twitter activity with Taijuan Walker and Blue Jays fans. There was a Taijuan Walker tweet to I'm blanking on the name now. Who's the center field? Who's the switch hitter? I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. You're going to have to remind me. But he tweeted at a Yankee. When I'm forgetting names, that means we've been going for a long time. And we're pushing the 3-hour mark. So I'm pretty, Hicks. Thank you, Kyle. Aaron Hicks. And he took that down. That led me to believe that, Hicks might be getting dealt to Toronto. So we talked about Springer and the Jays and Mets. We talked about a ton, a lot of, what's next stuff, everything about that. Let's see. What's your favorite team? Also, who would you like to be signed to your team? Aiden, thank you for the question. And my favorite team is Toronto, the Toronto Blue Jays. I would love for them to sign George Springer. Roll call. Who's your favorite team? Who do you want them to sign? Go. Let's see. Yanks have 20 million luxury tax, so Yanks could do a little bit more. No one likes me. Yeah, that can't be possible. No one likes you. Somebody has to like you. Mets don't need any more starting pitching. Yeah, I'm kind of starting to think that with Carrasco. I think it was a good move. It might be good. Mets might be good. Thank you, everybody who's hanging out here. Let's see. Fitzgerald wants Brantley. He's a Yankees fan. Keep it going. Roll call. What's your favorite team and who do you want them to sign? While we're doing that, while you guys are typing in the chat, hit the like if you haven't already. Always appreciate that support. We're building a great community and want you to be a part of it. So, please subscribe and stay close. We do this nightcap usually every Tuesday, but we're doing one on a Friday because so much happened today, and we're going a little longer because it's Friday. Let's see. Aiden wants Darren O'Day for the Yankees. You want a submarine pitcher. I mean, that fits the mold, what they like their pitchers to throw. Let's see here. All right. Someone tell me if Kirby Yates is a free agent. Johnny, yes, he is. I can tell you that. You bet. He is a free agent. Hasn't been much news on him either. Let's see. And I'm refreshing the numbers, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, guys, because we have hit 4,400 subscribers. We're up, I don't know. I think we're up about 40 subscribers since we started a few hours ago. So thank you, everybody that is here that is a new subscriber. If you're a new subscriber, please let me know in the chat and ask a question. I will give you the attention and the notoriety that you deserve for joining the community that we're trying to build here, for joining BALLCAP Nation. Let's see here. Yes. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad deal. Johnny, wouldn't be a bad deal. It'd be a nice deal. Can Shapiro pitch or play center field? LOL. I mean, he sure can't negotiate with players, so maybe he can get out there. He can negotiate his own deal and get a 5-year deal. That's about it. Aiden, thank you for the sub. Welcome in. I appreciate you. Thank you. Pirates, they won't get anyone. Yeah, that's the thing. The Pirates are they're just in that time when it's going to be it's going to be a couple years, right? You build around Ke'Bryan Hayes, who I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan of Ke'Bryan Hayes. I think you got a great one there. See what you got with O'Neal Cruz at shortstop. There's something there. And Newman's all right. Moran's all right. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not loving the Jays management either. I'm with you there. I'm with you. Let's see. It may sound dumb, but Springer would look great in a Blue Jays jersey. I think he would. That blue and white, everybody looks great in that jersey. You know who I got suckered into thinking it was just going to be awesomeness, but by how they looked in the jersey was Jose Reyes. Blue Jay fans that are in here, are you with me on that? When you first saw Reyes in a Blue Jays jersey, wasn't it like, oh man, MVP? He was MVP in the jersey, but that was about it. Mets fans, you remember Reyes. You had the good Reyes years. Thank you for the sub. Yanks for life. Thank you. Hayes is the early prediction for Rookie of the Year. He's for real. So Aiden, he was acquitted, I do believe. He was acquitted of that. Because, right, his baseball career was going to be over. His personal life was about to be a wreck. He got acquitted or charges were dropped or whatever happened. Yes, Kyle, you know what I'm talking about. But in Jersey, that first time, it was like MVP. Yeah, that didn't happen. Why do we still have that Springer thing up there? Let's get that out of the way. We are talking Springer. Anybody that's just hopping in wondering what we're talking about, we're talking Springer. I'll leave some of these windows up so anybody that hopped in trying to figure out what the heck are these guys talking about, we'll leave that up there for a few minutes. We'll maybe keep some of the windows up. We've also been talking about this. If you had $100 million for 5 years, who would you push over? Who would you push over to get to that pen to sign $100 million? Hold on. I see you, Kyle. What's going on? What's happening? Oh, okay. Hold on. Everybody. One more time. Ladies and gentlemen, it is apparent to the BALLCAP Sports News Network that Taijuan Walker and Aaron Hicks are discussing a golfing outing. That is just new into the BALLCAP Sports Network, where we bring you the up-to-date, fresh Twitter garbage all the time, no matter what time of day. Aaron Hicks, Taijuan Walker apparently setting up a golfing outing. More as details continue to come in. So it's getting late. It's getting late. Yeah, we're abusing the breaking news. But I mean, at this point, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. We're looking for news. There ain't going to be anything at this point. So we're just having fun with what's out there. 77 Luke Duke. Reds not going to trade anyone, not going to trade anybody away. So you think they're going to hold on to Suarez, Castillo, and Gray? Listen, you got the Reds and the Cubs, and they're all just ready to dump players. But if they held on to them in the Central, the Cardinals could sleepwalk to a division title with the way things are going. If the Reds just decide to say, you know what? All right, we're going to hold with what we got. The Reds could compete. Castellanos is still there. Moustakas is there, right? I mean, if you keep Gray and Castillo, you got a great 1-2 punch with the rotation. Suarez is maybe the most underrated third baseman in baseball. Yeah, I mean, I think the Reds could compete. Yeah, why would you dump? I mean, that's the thing. We just wonder if the Reds are trying to just shed salary. Was this the most active offseason news this season? I think so. Top free agent signing. You got a top free agent signing. I realize I'm like in the box. Top free agent signing. Kluber gets his deal. You had all of these international prospects totally reshaping the systems of every team. I mean, totally reshaping the systems and all of these deals. Yeah, I think this has definitely been the busiest day for sure. Let's see here. We are watching and watching. Are you a Yankee fan from Amazing Baseball Plays? I am not a Yankee fan. I appreciate what the Yankees do for the game of baseball, but I'm not a Yankee fan. I'm a Blue Jays fan. But my goal is that you wouldn't know it. That's what I strive for, is that you won't know who my favorite team is. That's my objective. You don't know unless it's a Blue Jays video, and then the Blue Jays hat is facing forward. Then you know what's going on with Tanaka from Lawrence. I mean, we don't know. It's in my opinion, it's Yankees or Japan, and that's kind of what's out there, right? That's kind of what's out there. It is 1 a.m. in the East. Is Jeff Passan still awake? I mean, is John Heyman? All these guys are on the East Coast, right? Are any of them still awake to even break the news if it happens? Let's see here. I live in Cincy. Don't think they will. Thanks on the money for them. I mean, I think the Reds are definitely selling. It's just right. I mean, but now what they've got left is on some pretty good deals, right? Castillo's just entering arbitration. Gray doesn't have a terrible salary, and Suarez has a beautiful salary. I mean, a salary that just salivate over if you're an organization. Baseball Domain Jays will do something at 2 a.m. Probably. No love for Brantley. I like Brantley. Talking about Michael Brantley. I'm interested because if you check Spot Track to sort of catch on see what the values are of all these guys. I'm interested because Brantley, they've got his Spot Track has his value at $20 million a year for a 3-year deal, and he's 32 or 33. That seemed crazy to me. Anybody that's still here hanging out, please hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. Come find me on Twitter, too, if you haven't already. I'll give you a follow back. You follow me on Twitter, I'll follow you back. If you want to play in the BALLCAP Sports Fantasy Baseball League that we're going to do this year, shoot me a Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. I will follow you back, and then we can DM, and I can get you the details once we get that figured out. Amazing. That is a green screen behind me. It is. I would love for this to be my basement, but the way things are right now, I got kids, and the kids, I mean, I got Hot Wheels tracks over there. I got a Thomas the Train thing over there. It's not good. It is not good. And that's why we have this. One day the kids will get a little bit older. I can reclaim the man cave, and it'll be a better situation. I mean, I've got the stuff. Like I could put together a nice situation, but with this pandemic too, my wife works from home, so she's got she's got a space, and I can't touch it because if I do, I mess up all her stuff, and then there's a whole you can't do that. So it's just the man cave isn't mine anymore. Need it back one day. It does. I mean, the green screen is pretty good. I like the green screen because when we're just talking baseball, we do this. But what I originally got it for was to try to have some fun with it. And do stuff like this, right? I mean, this is let's get the banner out of the way. If I'm trying to do some Blue Jays spring training content, I feel like this works, right? Here I am at spring training. Blue Jays spring training set to kick off. Pitchers and catchers report. We've got the latest coming up. I mean, it's this is ultimately why I got the green screen to create something like this, because you can't be there these days. Avarnis, thank you for the follow. So yeah, it is just something that wasn't intended to be like, the background. It was to have some fun with. We've got all these different spring training backgrounds. Any Nats fans still hanging out? Here I am in front of Nats Park. This is why I got it. But we're rolling with this for these days until, again, like I said, I can reclaim that. Anyway, that's a long tangent. That's over. Would Jackie Bradley Jr. be a good fit on Toronto? I mean, he'd be a good defensive play, but I don't think his bat would add much to it. That's my only that'd be the only thing I worry about there. Twitter in the description. I can do that. It's going to take me a minute to do that, but I can do that. Let's do this. Updating the subscription right now. Updating the description. Done. It is up. Saving. An error occurred on YouTube. This is usually temporary. Wait a moment and try again. Okay. Thanks. Thanks for that. There's one other place that I can do that. I can view it on YouTube. This is riveting stuff, right? This is what you came here for. You came here to watch me update the description, right? I know you did. Let's go to edit. I hope this doesn't cut anything out. Try this again. Follow me on Twitter. Okay. Save it and see what happens. And I'm back. Let's see here. Yeah, and follow Kyle. Kyle's a good baseball follow, too. Mets and Dodgers in the playoffs. I think yeah, for sure. No doubt. World Series favorites. I like, if I had to pick them right now, I would go White Sox and Dodgers. That could change. Yankees could make another move. Yankees are going to be in the mix, that's for sure. But I really like what the White Sox have done. All right. I think it's in there. Those that were looking for the Twitter handle in the description, I think it's in there now. Do you think the Yankees are going to be willing to go over the luxury tax? I know they try to stay under it. They might. I mean, probably not. It's going to be one of those, a deal they can't refuse kind of thing, and maybe, but probably not. Especially right now. Especially right now with the pandemics, with the pandemic going on. Top 10 shortstops right now. Will Dubs, if you're still here, I will entertain that. You got me at the right time because I'm working on a fantasy baseball projection. Top 10, I like shortstop. So here, I like Turner, Tatis, Story, Seager. I like Bogarts. What are we at? Turner, Tatis, Story, Seager, Bogarts. There's 5. Who else do we like? I like. Let's see. Bichette, obviously, got to have Bo in there. Lindor is in there. Who else? Is Carlos Correa in there? I don't know. Is Baez in there? I don't know. Roughly that. That is roughly my top 10 shortstops. Yes, Kirby Yates is a free agent. Yeah, Lindor's definitely in there. All right, guys. This has been a blast. We are at 3 hours and 10 minutes. We have achieved our goal of getting to, at least I think, I've had the subscriber number sort of toggle all over the place in the last week. I don't know if they were clearing a lot of bots out or what they were doing, but randomly one day I lost like 40 subs and I don't know what happened. Favorite team is the Toronto Blue Jays. That's the hat on the other side here. But again, I was saying it earlier, my goal is for you guys to not know that. I will answer that question. My goal is for you to not know that, and unless I'm doing a Blue Jay video. So anyway, Yes, thank you guys for being here for a special Friday night nightcap. We do the Tuesday night nightcap every Tuesday, 10 o'clock East, 7 o'clock West. You can book that. That happens always. And then when there's a big day, when something big happens, we'll come back on. We do something, either as warranted if something happens in the middle of the day, or like tonight, do a special nightcap. Make sure that you guys, so because of that, subscribe, hit the alert so you know when we're live, because, we go long, 3 hours and 11 minutes. It's 1 in the East. Good night, everybody. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it. As always, again, you could have been doing a number of other things, and you come and you hang out here. I appreciate that. And we got a bunch of names that I've seen all night. So a lot of you have been hanging out for most of the night. Kyle, thank you for being here. Darcy, thank you for being here. Elliot, thank you for being here. Will, Brandon, Aiden, Baseball Domain, Larry, Varnish. I'm just going through some recent comments. Thank you guys for hanging out. Appreciate it. As always, have a great night. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the football games. Let's hope we get some more baseball moves over the weekend and we can come back and talk some more. Aiden, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. And we will walk it off here with a Bo Bichette home run. Have a good one, everybody.
They wanted too early from Nate Pearson. But here's a fly ball, and Bo Bichette, his 5th hit of the game.